Hello, 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 and welcome to yet another Q&A Thursday right here at the Rag Company. Hope you're having a lovely afternoon or morning or evening, wherever you are. Anyway, I'm Dane Hennen, your host, and to my left, fellow host, Sydni Gwinn, here in the studio. Welcome.
Yes, it's been a few days since I've been here,
I know,
it's
right?
good to be back.
Just a few.
Whirlwind, right? I couldn't even tell you how many days. Is like this the week after TRCMA? I don't even remember.
It's hard to tell.
Oh my gosh.
The whole week just melts together. It's a melting pot.
Did the show end a week ago?
Yeah, ish.
Okay.
I'd be remiss, though, if I didn't also point out we have a friend there in the back. It was supposed to be Anthony, but Gabe is subbing in today. That's right. We got our very own Gabe Garcia.
What's up, guys?
To do some detailing. Gabe, before we get too far into today's show, remember, this is a mix between a Q&A, which is always the point. We want to make sure we're answering your questions, but also a live detailing session. That's the thing we've been incorporating more this year.
You want me to give them kind of the rundown, Dane,
and
of what we're going to do today?
So I would like you to give a rundown of what today's game plan is.
So, as you guys saw, we had TRCMA 2025. It was awesome, jam-packed with a bunch of brands. Got to meet our friends. It always feels like a family reunion when everyone's back. But long story short, in today's Q&A live wash, we're kind of dabbling into OG. Now, I want to start with OG because the biggest news of reveal is we will be carrying the OG products on the Rag Company Amazon storefront. Now, I believe a couple of these products are already on. I think we're still working on getting decon soap still up, but you should see the tire dressing as well as the drying aid. So we're gonna apply these to this dirty Honda CR-V. The other news drop is Built Hamber. We're gonna be carrying Built Hamber not on Amazon, but on the ragcompany.com website, so you can go there if you are interested into Built Hamber. And then in front, we've also got some brand new Detail Factory brushes, blue and gray. Love them. So in today's wash, this is the sequence of events, essentially, is what we're going to do on this dirty CR-V behind us. So we're going to start off with Auto Wheel, as well as Surfex HD, which is a water-based APC. So the APC I'm going to use on the tires, wheel, pretty explanatory, on the wheel. So wheel and tire combo right there. And then for the calipers, we're going to do the fallout remover for our brake calipers. And then eventually at the end of the wash, we will put dressing on the tires. And then for the actual wash process, this stuff is phenomenal. I've seen it used. This will be my first time applying it. It's touchless. So this car is dirty. It's kind of hard to see. I think you can kind of see it, but
it actually is.
It's actually dirty. So
they got it dirty for the show for TRCMA, and then
we never used it.
Not getting used.
Yeah, it's pretty dang dirty. So you can see in fact, right here in this area, it's all just hammered from the winter drive. So we're going to use touchless first, and then we're going to do 150 mils to 1,000 mils of water right here in our foam cannon. And then we're going to move over and we are going to use the OG Decon soap. Now, you would use the Decon soap essentially if you were prepping your car for, I don't know, a coating or paint correction. In the realm of this, we're just going to kind of reset it, and then we'll add a drying aid on top, the OG drying aid. And then I'm going to use the traceless glass cleaner on the windows, and I might even top it with Defender or Amplify at the very end. We'll see. With that, we're also going to be using our brand new TRC M22 2200 GSM 70/30 blend drying towel. This thing is a beast, and I'm super stoked to try this. This was released at TRCMA as well. So all the products that we're using today are brand new TRCMA drops. So the goal was, Dane, Sydney, is to do a wash, kind of showing off the sweet, sweet new products we've got. Oh, and I almost forgot. We got the OG brush. Now, I've never used this. This brush does feel fantastic. We're going to use this to do the drying aid, and the way Matt does this is he kind of pinches it and gives it kind of a curvature, if you will, to follow the wheels. So we'll spray the dressing in and apply it that way. So that will be something new as well.
All right. Excellent. Thanks for the pickup there, Gabe. Appreciate it. Now,
no problem.
I think we've had enough time to build up some comments and questions. Sid, if you want to get started, let's do this thing.
I'm ready.
I'm going to get rolling on my end as well.
Yeah, you got it. Joey Belinsky screaming, "Hello, Gabriel."
Oh, hello, Joey. I drove a Mini today, so to work. So I guess I won't bash you too hard on British. Is it British engineering or German?
It's originally a British car, but it has German engineering underneath because BMW are the ones who brought Mini back to life back in the early 2000s.
Yep. That makes a lot of sense based off of their design flaws.
Anyway, let's get our first one up on the screen. We've got Dan Pfeiffer, and of course, he's saying, what is he saying, Sid?
Good afternoon and word up from Minnesota, USA. Happy Friday Eve, TRC gang. Congrats on a very successful TRCMA. What a great week. Thanks for all the hard work to make it a great event.
Thank you very much,
We
Dan.
had a great
Appreciate
time,
you.
and we appreciate everybody watching and tuning in.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we got Tamara Chase. Hello from
Hi,
New
Tamara.
Hampshire.
Hello,
All right.
Tamara.
Hey. And I think I'll have Lucas on as a co-host next week. What do you think of
Nice.
that, Tamara?
Oh, that'll make Tamara happy.
I think so. Then I got Super Otto here saying Happy Friday Eve.
Yes.
Friday.
Welcome, Al. And the one who shall remain nameless. We always give him a name on this show because, if someone says they're going to do something, we do the opposite.
Bert.
So,
Bert.
Anyway, what's his name this week, guys?
Bert. That's
Bert.
what came to my mind, too.
call
So
him
that
Bert.
seems like a good fit. Yeah.
All right, Bert. Happy Friday, Junior TRC family from sunny and spring like Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Is everyone recovered from TRCMA? My first shipment arrives today with the banner of signatures valued at
Oh, my
$1 million. Oh, do I
Oh,
need
my
to do the
goodness.
pinky?
How exciting. How exciting.
Anyway,
I hope
that's
your
awesome.
little packet of express wipes is in there too.
Oh,
It was
right.
kind of floating around with the
Yeah.
banners.
Well, that's a nice bonus. Tamara, how's New Hampshire? Is there still snow? Hi, Al. Yeah, so you're saying hi to everybody. Let's see. We've got more talk about the weather. Of course, it's at the beginning of the show. Let me get up to Sheldon here. Sheldon's saying, what's he saying?
What's up, my people? Thanks for putting on another great TRCMA, and thanks for bringing Maddie. It's such a good time. We did have a really good time with Matt.
Yeah, we did. He's
really-
a character.
yeah.
I think a lot of people think... Matt won't be offended if I say this. I know several people I've heard from who aren't into detailing. Are like,
Yeah.
oh, that guy. They like recognize him by
Yeah.
the sound of his voice, and like,
Yeah.
oh, I'd use that to fall asleep.
Yeah. Oh, funny.
And
funny.
Matt would just laugh, and then he would just say, "Yay, as long as you're buying products, I don't care."
Yeah, right,
But-
right. And we've known Matt for a long time, and I think, when I heard he was coming here for the week, I was a little bit worried for him,
Sure,
thinking
yeah.
like, this is a lot, and there's a lot going on, and it's
Yeah, is
kind of like
he
crazy,
gonna
right? It's like a
enjoy,
little
like,
beehive.
the environment?
But man, he was a trooper all week, and
was.
yeah, and I mean, people, kind of poked at him, and
Oh,
he was
totally,
such a
yeah.
good sport, and he, he
like it
was
was
here, he
mostly
showed up to everything,
Anthony.
had a great time. So yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. Joey Belinsky here going, thank God, I missed you all. This week has sucked. Take me back to Boise.
I know. Can I just mention something?
Yeah.
Did you guys notice that, not that we want to change the date, but TRCMA happens just 1 week before Boise just blooms, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
like
it
driving
happened
here
the week before TRCMA, and then it
Yeah.
got garbage during the week of TRCMA.
Right,
and
yeah,
then
the
week
weather
after,
was terrible. But this
back to
week,
nice
all
stuff
the
again.
tulips are in bloom, all the trees
Beautiful.
are in bloom. Like, driving down here, I got to drive down Harrison Boulevard, but it's like, oh my gosh, Boise is like
It's waking up.
beautiful right
Yeah.
now. Yeah. But
No, it's true.
we'll
It
still
does
take you even
change.
on the rainy weeks, Joey.
It's not just gray and brown and
Yeah,
sad looking.
yeah.
It actually does wake up
Guys,
a lot this time of year.
Built on
Yep.
the APC on the tire. Works great. Works really good.
Good
Pretty
to
nuts.
know. And like I said before to Glenn, who's doing the mixing today, I'm going to have her focus a lot more on Gabe doing the work, but I'm going to keep answering questions here with Sid.
Yeah.
We just want to keep showing more of the detail actually happening because, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
For sure.
So I've got Sheldon here. What's Sheldon saying?
I'm looking to polish off my 2-year-old DB36 and replace with a new coating. Which polish and pad would you recommend? I'd like to try rehab. If that's a good choice, what pad do you recommend? Sheldon, you have come to the right spot. Obviously, I had a lot to do with rehab, and I love it probably more than anybody on the face of the earth. So absolutely try rehab. I think that's going to be great. That will take it down enough. And I think one of the things about when you're removing a coating is keep in mind you don't have to like remove it 100%. So you're just trying to obviously get down to a level where a new coating will bond. And so don't stress out about, knowing if you 100% removed it, because you probably won't. So rehab's a great option. My favorite combination with rehab is either the Buff and Shine Maroon or the Buff and Shine Blueberry. Both of those are great one steps and are going to help get that coating off and get it prepped and, remove any swirl marks or anything like that. So I would definitely pick up a couple maroon and blue for sure. And that should be all you need. You shouldn't need a finishing pad.
Okay. Simple enough. Good
Yep.
place to start. Then I've got Tristan here wondering kind of broadly, is PNS okay to use on PPF?
Yeah. So, really like market wise, there's not really a lot of products that you can't use on PPF. Most of them are going to cross over just fine. Triple S, which PNS makes, is a great kind of, maintenance spray to use after the fact on PPF. But honestly, all of the soaps, all of the, Bead Maker, Defender, they're all totally fine on PPF.
Yeah. The only cases you'd run into issues, or and I don't think it's necessarily a problem with PNS, is if you use some kind of like adhesive removers, things like that.
Yeah.
I would keep those away.
Yeah,
from
and maybe like
PPF
iron
or
removers
RAB.
too. You probably don't need iron removers
too.
on PPF.
Yeah. All right. Then I've got Joey asking the big questions, because this is kind of a TRCMA-centric episode.
Okay.
Joey wants to know what the highlights were the week on or off camera.
Oh my goodness.
You guys all have something
How
to
do you
contribute.
just
so
pick one?
let's hear from Sid here first, since it was your first year in a hosting role.
Yeah. So one of my there were so many highlights. So this is going to be really hard to like nail down just one.
No.
But
Talk
I know
it out.
one for me personally was having my dog come in. Right?
That
Because
was
I didn't
great.
get to see my animals all week. So it was kind of fun just to have Piper stop by and be on camera for a minute. So definitely Piper. But really, like, the whole thing was a highlight for me. And then off camera, gosh, that's a tough one.
Just like the dinners.
all the dinners are
between
so
the
fun,
shows.
too. Yeah,
you
that's
end up
really
chatting
hard.
with people you normally
Yeah.
wouldn't get a chance to talk
Yeah.
with.
I think probably the highlights of my week were Joey and Alex getting me coffee in the afternoons.
At the end of the day, it's somebody
it
doing
was
something
much
for
needed.
someone else. Yep.
Much needed.
What about you, Gabe?
I think the highlight for me was on camera, seeing everything kind of come together. I think the big thing that a lot of people, maybe they realize, but they don't realize, is how much work it takes to put a show like that together.
Yeah.
Think of all the vendors. We had hotel arrangements, we had food arrangements, we had product drops and releases that we wanted to demonstrate with you guys, and then we added more. We added prize giveaways this year, which was something new. I was really stoked for the prize giveaways, for you guys to be able to see and kind of like actually have the opportunity to potentially win a prize.
Yeah.
But off camera, the biggest thing for me were the dinners, just being able to see each other, talk to each other. Because honestly, guys, it feels like a family reunion.
It
does.
With our grand ambassadors who we just met, right? By the end of the week, you feel like you're family. Joey and Alex coming in, kicking it off with a halftime show. Matt kind of being out of his element and just seeing the goofiness of who we really are. Because who we are in Q&A or in any live, on and off camera, we're the same people.
Yeah.
So it was just fun intermixing everything and seeing it all come together. How about you, Dane?
It's always hard to pick a moment. I enjoyed just the feeling of having like everybody here. Like you said, kind of like a family reunion vibe. You get so many people who you're familiar with them in some capacity or another. You see them at shows. But being able to see them in the context of like hearing voices where it's not necessarily one of those places where people expect to find themselves if they're from like a big city somewhere else or something. But there's stuff going on here. It's kind of fun. So being able to bring them to like our backyard and invite them into that space, I really enjoy that. So just being able to have that experience with everyone here, and they always leave complimenting it. So it's never been a case that I heard anybody go away and like, oh, that place sucks.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I've never once heard that, even though the instinct of people have never been here before is like, oh, Boise, like middle of podunk nowhere, whatever, kind of thing.
No, usually everyone leaves wondering how they're going to move here.
Yeah, that's been known to happen. Yeah.
That's the key thing. Don't move.
Everybody always pulls the, we're full.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's pretty good. Moving along here, I've got Neil with some critique.
Yeah.
Still baffled by how Matt and the boys managed to destroy good quality steaks on a live stream.
I'm gonna say good quality pants.
Oh, no, that comes later.
I think probably destroyed was the pants. I think the steaks kind of survived,
The
right?
steaks,
I mean, those who ate it said that it was actually pretty good.
people complained when they were watching it, but they couldn't taste it. And everyone who tasted it said those were some damn good steaks.
They said they were really good.
Matt ate all of it. Matt
was a hater in terms of what he was saying.
Right.
But watch back and you will see that man go, oh, it's terrible. And then just keep eating it. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, how much did you really hate it?
But shout out to whoever was operating the cameras and caught the close-up of the steak getting
amazing
thrown.
Yeah, no,
such good timing.
They are doing the standalone versions of the videos from the live stream, and that steak getting chucked is
oh my god,
it
was the funniest.
It's so
I was watching it live and I was like, oh my gosh,
that was a full on like Olympic
so
toss.
Oh, it was
hilarious. Great. All right, we got Bert here. What's Bert saying?
Okay. One of my highlights was Joey, Alex, and Matt cooking steaks. Of course, Matt's pants randomly ripping. What's another highlight? Matt's pants, I think, were like the event of the week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Well, and the fact
I think what was fun too that a lot of people at home maybe don't realize is that he kept his pants on the whole day. Like, I figured he would have ran to the hotel and changed his pants. Oh, no, he showed up to dinner in the pants.
No, he kept going because he loved those pants.
Right, yeah, it was hilarious.
He wasn't giving up on them that easy.
Yeah, that was too funny.
Alex Dewar, wonderful to see you. Our other halftime co-host popping in here saying to have a meeting. We'll catch this one later. Love you all. Hope all the Canadian candy has been consumed. My friend Alex, there's so much Canadian candy left over. They put it all around my desk. Mm-hmm. I'm a guy who's trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
This has been a struggle for me this week with how much snackage is just surrounding me.
Yeah, Dane, but then you put it on my desk.
There's a lot of snacks. There's a mountain of snacks surrounding Dane's desk.
So they're still working on it. Luckily, people keep coming by and eating it, but it's not all gone yet. There's so much.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Joey with the shout out to Nick and Glenn, the unsung heroes of the week.
Amen.
Hearts all around. For those who don't know, Nick and Glenn really are the unsung heroes.
They are amazing.
They work behind the scenes. They're responsible for what you're seeing right now. Without them, the switching between cameras, the mixing, all this live stream stuff wouldn't be possible. So big thank you to them once again. Glenn is doing the switching today. Big thank you to Glenn.
Yes.
Now, I've got Neil responding to Joey. Doesn't quite believe that the steaks weren't ruined. ProShine Solutions say, what's up, everyone? Right back at you, ProShine. And then we've got Neil also saying, happy Thursday, TRC. Received my TRCMA box the other day. Great stuff. So glad you got a hold of that.
I have seen a couple people with their boxes of the new stuff. That's exciting.
The sales were extreme, so I'm glad people were taking advantage.
That's awesome.
Bunch of talk about different islands back and forth. Man, okay, I'm looking for the detailing questions, guys. I'm really looking. Promise. ProShine here says, not gonna lie, that steak looked pretty fire. Matt was just putting on a show. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. That's fact.
he was laying it on a little thick. Joey here, got my new pad washer and skin grip essentials kit thanks to the sale. Can't wait to put them to use now that I'm Stout certified. Can you talk a little bit about that, Sid?
Yeah. So when Stout first came out, Joey got it.
He was quick draw.
And he just went out.
Fast.
He did text me that morning and said, I'm going to put Stout on the Mini. And I was like, okay. But I figured that he had like watched the video or listened to me. And apparently he didn't. And he got high spot all over the whole car.
No.
And he called all his friends and said, what's the deal with Stout? And so I have to give him a bad time about it. And so that was like operation number 1 when they got to town.
Yeah.
So they got to town on Saturday. I literally made them come out to my house at 8 o'clock on Sunday morning, and we were going to get Stout certified.
We're going to school you.
Yeah. And so.
Was it Delaney who taught him?
No, she wasn't home. She was in Utah.
Okay.
or no, she was in Arizona. She was in Arizona, so I had to do it, but and I do have their certifications. I just need to send them to them. But so I had them polish the front of my car, the hood and the two fenders, both Joey and Alex, and then had them put it on with the right instructions. And Joey was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the easiest. This is so great." And so he is now Stout certified. Yeah, and it's going to be his new favorite coating.
Big turnaround on that one. I like that.
Yeah.
So let's see. We got Bert asking, I'm just curious how many orders and how much other people spent during TRCMA. I managed about $300 over 2 orders.
Wow.
Well, Bert, that was well spent. I'm glad you got stuff that you enjoyed, but I'm sure others will chime in as well.
Yeah.
We got Grant F with the typical yurt popping in. Enthusiast saying, sup, y'all. And let's see. Well, more talk about those steaks. Joey making sure to clear up any of the air surrounding that.
Now it's actually making me want a steak.
Thank you. It was actually the perfect temperature inside, too, because they were using a meat thermometer. We didn't want anybody getting sick. Definitely was expecting well done with how off the rails that segment was. Yeah, no, very good chance that thing could have gone real bad.
Yeah.
Sheepstar checking in. Hey, y'all. And then I've got Equestrian Whiskey. Man, these names.
Good.
They're getting out there. All right. Afternoon, all. Oh man, Joey, big spender here, says he thinks he dropped up at $650. Obviously, the camo towel went to a charitable cause. Yes, people who bought the initial batch of the Slim Dryer, all of the proceeds from the purchases of that towel specifically, the 80 towel run that was early, those went to the Gary Sinise Foundation. So that's been a foundation we've been supporting when we do any kind of veteran-related stuff, and it's been good. So people have really enjoyed that.
That's nice. What are you using, Gabe?
What are you doing back there?
I'm going to do 150 mil of touchless right now.
All right.
So I pre-sprayed the car.
Mm-hmm. What'd you pre-spray it with? I can smell it.
No, I just sprayed it. What you're smelling is the wheel and tire cleaner and the APC.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely smells something.
Yeah.
It smells terrible, but I mean, this car is caked on. So it will be we'll see how well this does. I'm genuinely curious. I've seen Anthony use it in testing, and he tested this and he tested the optimum version of touchless, and both worked great. So
cool.
I'm beyond stoked to try this.
Nice. I've already got questions popping up about what's the panel impact ratio, Gabe.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. The panel impact ratio is how I don't know. Here's the deal, guys. Ask me questions that are normal. Like
questions like a normal
like,
person
hey,
would ask.
Is this going to take off the grime on my vehicle so I can say yes or no? But I can tell you the dilution ratio, right? We're doing 150 mils in the cannon. So I'm going to get this foam show going for you guys. But if you have questions, just ask normal questions.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we're making cars clean. We're not nuclear physicists here, and we would never profess otherwise.
Touchless to me is a great interim of changing the way you wash your car, because traditionally it's like the 2-bucket method, right? You use 2 buckets. Everyone's like, it's a cardinal sin if you use 1 bucket. I like to personally use 1 bucket. So this method of touchless, I call it a dwell wash, right? Pre-spray it, let it dwell, rinse it, then I come back and then I hit it with whatever soap I'm going to use for my contact wash, which in this case, it'll be a decon soap. So this car will be really clean, but new style, guys, new style.
All right.
Nice.
You do your thing. We're going to keep talking over you while you spray. All right. I've got Espen here saying, hi, hope you don't suffer too much with all the tariff changes. Yes, it's been a very exciting week for everybody, fortunately. I can allay some concerns that, here at TRC, there's some very smart people here. They kind of saw, how things would be going. Many, many months ago, actually, we made some very, very large orders from the factories to be able to secure a lot of microfiber towels before all this stuff kicks in. So we have good supply. Can't speak for all the other companies out there. Maybe they had foresight too, maybe they didn't. But in our case, it was definitely something that we just knew could be iffy in the future, so we thought ahead. So, yeah, no, we've got good stock. But at the same time, when it comes to chemicals and other things, those tend to be in a different case of orders. The companies may only produce so much at a given time. But when it comes to towels, we're absolutely on it.
Cool.
All right. So then I've got Gabe washing a Honda question from Neil. Did you not know that Gabe also owned a very mint Honda Civic at one time?
He did.
Minty.
So, yeah, real minty.
Very minty.
And then David Cervantes here saying, "What's up, Dane, Gabriel, and Sydney?"
What's up, David?
Hey, David.
Happy to see you, David. Thanks for popping in. And fine detailing, Ryan here. Squad TRCMA was a dream. I'm so glad you got a chance to experience it.
So great to have him here
Firsthand. So
yeah.
he got out there.
Great.
You put in the work, man. You were actually out there shooting videos in the outdoor wash bay with a lot lot of different people.
Yeah.
Well, he was also helping. There was one segment we needed Sydney's car, and it was an absolute. It was dirty. Sorry, Sid. I don't mean to throw you under the bus.
I don't know that I would use the word absolute, but
okay, it wasn't absolutely dirty.
It was dirty.
Yeah,
it was dirty, and it was like, hey, we need someone to clean this, and Ryan's like, I got nothing right now, so he stepped in, and he was the man.
Thank you so much, Ryan. It was great.
All right. And then David Boyce, excited to see Built Hamper products on the table there. Yes. So that's what's going on.
And at the Rag Company, ragcompany.com, baby, soon. Still working on it, but it's coming.
Yeah. It's a work in progress.
We don't have dates, but we're going to it's coming.
Yeah. It was awesome. I enjoyed TRCMA, says Tamara. Thank you. All day Gabriel, says Brian. You're not shooting from a first-person perspective, so it's just not quite the same. Mm-hmm. Although it is a Honda, so you're close.
Yep.
Alpha Tango here. That was my first TRCMA. It was amazing. Maybe someday when I get famous, I can join the party. Alpha Tango, you're welcome. No, absolutely, dude. Happy to have you amongst the viewers there. And someday, if you find yourself in the area, we try not to have it be too busy here in the studio when we're actually shooting. Right. We deliberately kind of like empty out the area except for the people who need to be in the room just because it's very technical and there's a lot of camera work and stuff. But in between, there's a lot of good moments where people can maybe just hang out and stop by. But the reality is things got to keep moving. So it can be a little tricky if somebody's like trying to pop in. We don't want people to feel left out.
Yeah,
anyway.
Totally.
Travis Aldrich here with a question. I have a quick question. I detailed my truck about a month ago and coated it with Bead Maker and Defender. Will wide open or frostbite remove Defender? Will I need to recoat with Defender again?
No, it should not remove it. You should be fine. With Defender though, it's said to be like a 1-year protection. If you're going to use frostbite often, I would probably stick to putting it on every 6 months. I like using Defender, so I apply it like every 3 months just because I enjoy it and it's so easy. But no, it won't totally remove it. So no, you should be good. Okay.
Then I've got Fine Detailing Ryan here saying the Brits always tell me Surfx HD straight is a nuke. 1 to 10 to 1 to 20 is the sweet spot, apparently.
Nice.
So that's a little word for Gabe over there, just in case.
What did he say?
He's saying that using Surfx HD straight is apparently a nuke, according to the Brits. So he says 110, 120 is the sweet spot.
For the will?
Wherever you happen to be using it. I imagine he's talking about on painted surfaces.
All right, let me take a look at this. Surface, that's the Fallout?
On the Surfx HD, yeah.
Sorry. The only thing with these that I will say that for my first initial, which is which. So the APC degreaser, Ryan, I can assure you, I didn't use this on paint. I actually used this on the fender lines because this, and as you guys know, newer vehicles, they have a carpet liner and it's a pain in the butt.
My Jag had those.
Just for doing a quick spritz and then using the fender well brush by Detail Factory, just a quick wipe and then a spray, it came off just fine. My initial on this is not to use any APC on the paint. I'm just solely working with the touchless as well as the decon. But thank you, Ryan. That's good to know because I do like to use APC on the paint sometimes for a decontamination wash.
All right. And then I got Tamara here really wanting the M22 towel. So, yeah, a lot of people super stoked for that thing.
Yep.
It's cool because it's so beefy, but we deliberately made it a smaller dimensional size.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a giant wash pad.
Yeah, I like it.
And then fine detailing. It's real thirsty. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then I've got Neil here saying, I fully expect Gabe to mimic Matt's demeanor while detailing the CRV. Ran away, Gabe.
This is crap.
He's expecting some rants.
Seriously.
Yeah. Just
gonna
sound
go right
perpetually
for it.
disappointed and
What?
speak in a monotone voice.
No, this is junk. This is jank. You guys
Call
have a
something janky.
janky setup over here. This is crap.
Yep, you got it. Alex Dewar here saying, Glenn and Nick are the real MVPs. Everyone else is pretty great, too.
They
Thanks.
are.
We'll take that in the manner in which it's intended.
Totally agree.
LHF Detailing says, who is this guy Will the Gabe keeps referring to? I'm not sure there. What's going on? I may be mixed up.
Who is the guy
Who's this guy Will the Gabe keeps referring to?
I'm a little confused on the way that that's phrased, so I'll give you a chance to clear that up.
Yeah, give us clear, kind of clear it up for us. All right, I'm going to jump over to Decon in just a sec.
Tamara with the Lucas love.
Yep.
We love that.
Wow.
LHF Detailing. I'm thinking Will might be on Dane's rough. Oh, my goodness. Okay, now it's just words confusing my pronunciation with rough.
You really do that a lot, Dane.
I do that a lot.
It is
I call
confusing.
it a roof too. So
I call it a roof. The top of the building is a roof, and they go, "No, it's a roof."
Yeah.
Roof.
And I go, "Well, okay, what's that fence made of? Wood." I wouldn't call it wood.
Yeah, but you wouldn't also say, "Can I have rut beer?"
No, I say root beer. Root beer is a perfectly normal way to say it. Root beer. Root is something you do for the home team. Anyway, we're not having this conversation. Hydra Detailing. Hi, all Hydra.
All right. I'm going to go Decon.
Enthusiast here saying, I resisted with all my willpower to not place an order. I have to work through all my products. That is very responsible, Enthusiast. I respect that. And we got Dino here. Welcome, Dino. Happy to see you. Saying hello, all. How y'all doing? I know you're on the other side of the world from us. We got Travis here saying, I have 2 bottles of the new release vacuum aid on the way. Nice. Sydney, actually, for a moment while I pull up new questions, can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, so release has been kind of fun. So it was one of those that, you know, obviously the presentation on TRCMA, everybody got and they understood. But honestly, when we released it on our own social media, without all of the background story, we kind of got some hate on it, to be honest. You know, people were like, oh, why are you releasing that? Just use paint gloss. You can just use water. You can just use carpet bomber. There was some really bad answers. But, you know, of course, paint gloss works. But as we know from the presentation with Dave, is that, you know, there's a lot of other really great stuff in release that, you know, the anti-soil, the anti-static, the odor neutralizer. You know, yes, paint gloss works, but release is so good. It's so good. And so, you know, we kind of looked at it as like, you know, kind of making a new category. And if it's a product that, I mean, it's like $10 or $12 a bottle. It's not expensive, but it really makes you that much more efficient. And so I was super excited about it. And now what I love is that, you know, the first couple days that it was online, we got a little bit of pushback on it. And now people are starting to get it. And everyone's like, oh, wait, no, this is better. This is really good. And so it'll be a product that stands on its own. It's really, really good.
Sid,
I'm super excited about it.
Kind of the properties of it compared to paint gloss? Because to be honest, I haven't even tried it. I haven't had time.
Yeah.
He's been so busy elsewhere.
Yeah, so paint gloss obviously was created years ago. I mean, years and years ago. And it is a quick detailer. So it is meant to be, you know, it has a little bit of waterless wash properties. It's got obviously an anti-static. You can use it to remove light dusting from the surface. You can use it as a final wipe. I kind of look at it as a Swiss Army knife. It does a lot of different things. It's a great clay loop. But the raw materials that go into paint gloss were raw materials that were developed for the exterior surfaces of a car. Mm-hmm. So we've been using it for 5 years as a vacuum aid. That was kind of started by me. You know, we were up at Rennie's shop actually, and I, you know, had been using it as a vacuum help and had to tell Dave about it the first time, and Dave does not like when we use his products for unintended purposes.
Off-label usage.
Yeah. And so I was like, wait, you got to see this. It's great. And so we've been using it for 5 years and it's great. There's no problem with it. But coming out of that, Dave realized that he could build something that really served all the purposes of vacuuming, not just the anti-static.
Sure.
So paint gloss really only addresses the anti-stat. Release is all new raw materials he put together to, there's anti-stat, then there's also anti-soil. And what this means is, for those of you that answered just use Carpet Bomber, wrong, because Carpet Bomber has surfactants in it. And so the minute you get in with your shoes, it actually pulls the dirt off the bottom of your shoes. Because when you're using Carpet Bomber and you're not cleaning the carpet, meaning you're not steaming it, extracting it, or somehow getting that Carpet Bomber off and then deactivating it with finisher, if you just put Carpet Bomber on the surface, now you've got a surfactant. That's going to clean your shoes. And so the anti-soil is actually an item that will actually keep it from soiling.
Okay.
So it's not going to clean it, but it's going to keep it from soiling. So it's kind of new technology. It's pretty cool, meaning it won't pull stuff off the bottom of your shoes, and it also won't help things dig in like dirt. So really, even if you use it, so I use it on my customer's car, and in a month they go to the car wash and use their vacuum. It really should vacuum easier for them as well.
So it prevents things from embedding themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
So that's kind of a new technology, but then it also has that odor neutralizer. So
I mean, that's important.
That one's a big one. So not where the car's carpet stinks from smoke or something like that, but if you just kind of have that general
soil over time,
funk, right? Yeah, just the general.
Funk.
You've left your leftovers in your car. We've all done that, kids, sweaty gym clothes. So this is going to embed itself into the carpets, and it's just going to neutralize any odors that exist, light or heavy. And it just makes the car smell nice and fresh and clean.
That's cool.
So, and it just has a very clean, fresh scent. And so several different properties. It's actually meant for the interior. And I think you'll just see that not that paint gloss doesn't work, but release just works that much better,
Right.
And so if it makes you more efficient and it helps with the smell and all of that, why not?
No, that's awesome. That's actually, I didn't know some of those things about it. So
it's
I'm
really
definitely
good.
happy to
it's
hear
really,
that.
really good.
Well, and especially the short pile carpets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you get the small little grams of sand and dirt and crap like that. It's always a pain to clean out. So
So that the anti-stat material is obviously going to help release, which is where it got its name from. But sand, dirt, dog hair, all of that. It's just going to make it so that it actually vacuums out.
You guys, I think I'm going to have to do some claying. I don't know if you can hear this.
Oh, yeah.
This is the back glass. It's just...
I can hear it.
That sounds about due for some clay.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to pull out a clay scrubber.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. That's a great bonus. Get to it. Okay, so I got Neil White here saying pollen is the devil. I know.
We just are starting to get it. The car that I had today in my shop had big yellow dots all over it. So today I had my first pollen car.
Then B. Riley here. It looks like the trees are smoking here when the wind blows.
Oh, wow.
I've heard of smoking trees. I don't think that's what they meant.
Yeah.
Hydra Detailing. No soak applicators have a double life in my shop. Once I'm done with the coating, I cut them open and use the foam as a tire applicator foam sponge. Works
That's nice.
perfect.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, no, I love when people continue to use a product that's not done. I mean, you don't want to take the old crusty towels and use them on a nice new finish, but there's usually a good way to reuse things. So, that's
I love
great.
that, Gabe. We can actually hear...
We can hear
all
it,
of it, and then it goes silent. I think that's so cool.
It's so bad. Like I was, and with gloves. So for those of you watching, if you're at home and you want to know if your car feels like junk, janky, put gloves on, or a plastic bag from the store would suffice. But like even here, this whole back hatch over here. Hardly anything, but back here.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
So I'm going to do the back. I'm probably going to have to just do this whole rear.
Yeah.
Just to make sure he's got a...
that definitely big difference. Your mic's picking up a lot of that, so that's great.
Sorry, guys.
No,
it's
that's okay.
good.
That's good.
No, it's good,
People
yeah.
are looking for this kind of detail.
Yeah.
So I love that in Q&A we've kind of gotten to the point where now we can kind of do this.
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
I should ask you guys, guess what I'm doing?
So Michael Brae here.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's how you want to pronounce your last
what
name.
polisher do you recommend that doesn't break the bank? Wow, that's a loaded question, Michael,
Milwaukee,
because
baby.
I
Depends on what your goals are.
well, yes, and I think it depends on how much you're going to be using your polisher, because
Yeah.
I tried to cheap out on my first polisher and I was actually detailing other people's cars, and now I suffer from extreme nerve damage. So I'm not a fan of cheap polishers. So if you are polishing more than 1 to 2 cars a month, I'm going to recommend that you invest in a good polisher. If you're just doing your car once a year, then I think you can get away with, something like what are some of the budget-friendly ones? I mean, I know I had an Adam Swirl Killer one, and it was fine.
And those could be fine. I know
Yeah.
people like those griots
The
polishers.
griot ones
the
are good,
G-series
yeah.
ones seem to
Yeah.
be
The
pretty
Griot ones
popular.
are actually really good.
The Griot's ones are good.
3-inch. The 3-inch
Yep.
is very comparable to the Flex with an adjustable head.
Yes.
I would say the other element in price is, what are you carrying? Like, do you have... What tools do you have in your garage? Because if you have tools that already have kind of a battery, the realm of batteries and stuff, and you have a lot, like
Yeah.
if you have DeWalt or Milwaukee,
Right.
you're going to want to probably stick with that, because in the
Yeah,
long
if
run,
you've already got
cheaper.
a system.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to be cheaper. You don't have to buy any more batteries or anything like that.
The batteries are the most expensive part generally if you're going to be using a battery-operated polisher.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean...
But then-
people get intimidated when they see like, oh, Rupas or something
Yeah.
like that. There are used Rupas out there you can pick up.
Oh,
like
yeah,
if you're not
for sure.
if you're not feeling like you're ready to pull the trigger on like a new one or something,
Yeah.
you can probably find someone who like wants to upgrade theirs, and they're like, all right, I can probably retire this one.
Yeah.
It's not that it's broken or dead or tired. You can pick up a used Rupas, and
sure.
then you can actually send it back
Yeah.
for like a flat fee.
Yeah.
Get it refurbished.
Yeah.
At the factory. It's amazing. It's like having a new polisher when it's
Yeah,
done.
totally.
So that
Absolutely.
is a really good system that I think smart people take advantage of.
Yeah.
But that's for people who are, like professionals
Right.
or getting to that level where they're going to be working on customer cars. That's
Yeah.
when you're doing it for a living, and you need
Yeah.
something that's going to be
Yeah.
able to pull harder jobs, more frequent jobs.
Right.
If you're just doing it for yourself, and you're only out there to work on your own cars, and it's kind of spaced out, because honestly, how often do you need to
Right.
polish your own
Yeah.
car?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you don't need to drop a bunch on a
Right.
polisher, because it's really just for your own enjoyment.
Yeah.
At which point, as an enthusiast,
Yeah.
are you enthusiastic about it? Okay.
Right.
Figure out your budget from there. But if you're just trying to do it so you can get it done, move on with your life.
Yep.
I mean, I've seen people pick up the Harbor Freight ones
Yeah.
and just try and make the most with a decent backing plate and a good
Right.
pad.
Yeah.
I will say this, though.
Yeah.
To Sid's point, one thing that I have noticed, because I love my Milwaukee, right?
Yeah.
But there was one month where I did 15 cars after work. And I will say, in my fingers and stuff, you do feel like this weird vibration, as if...
The vibration's a big problem.
And the other thing, too, is I've noticed that I think I've started getting a little bit of carpal tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is one thing, kind of going off of what Sid was saying, is invest in the money. That way you're not having to deal with anything in the long-term issues.
And that is my exact point when it comes to something like that, where I'm talking about, if you're going to cheap out,
Right.
hopefully it's just because you're only doing it on your
Right.
own cars. It's
Yeah.
infrequent, in which case you get a cheaper polisher.
Yeah.
It's probably going to vibrate, all those things.
Yeah.
Get some good anti-vibration gloves.
Right.
And you can suck it up for the time being, just
Yeah.
doing the very infrequent job
Yeah.
that you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
But if you're making a living out of it,
Yeah.
take Sydney's advice seriously. Levi always used to say the same things. It will mess up your
It's the
nerves.
worst.
It will mess up your hands.
the nerve damage
all that
is
stuff.
the worst.
No
Yeah.
joke. If
Yeah.
you're going to be doing it as a frequent job, and Gabe knows this too, invest in a good quality polisher.
Yeah.
Look for something that is smoother. That's why I'm saying,
Yeah.
like, a used Rupas isn't a bridge too far. Get it
Right.
refurbed, and you got yourself a killer tool.
Oh, yeah. 'Cause-
Whatever
yeah.
you're trying to do, I think that's the best move for
Absolutely.
somebody who's going to be doing this
Absolutely.
frequently.
Yep.
All right. Hopefully that helps
Totally.
you out. Joey. Man, I moved through a lot of these.
Rehab took care of paint transfer on a rear bumper this week with ease. Didn't even burn the paint. Champion. Yes, that is awesome. It does do a good job on paint transfer.
Very nice.
Rehab's just, Rehab's just amazing. I'm a big fan.
Love Rehab. Oh, what's going on?
So this stuff works fantastic. No joke. It's no joke. Like it cleans the paint surfaces. It does everything that it says.
Remind people what it is again in case they're just tuning in.
I hit it with touchless first, and I'm talking the paint specifically. I went touchless first as my dwell wash, and then I went back and I hit the decon soap. The touchless, you could tell it already made a difference because if I spray on the windows, there's some hydrophobics happening. And there was still hydrophobics happening with the touchless wash. I hit it with the decon wash, paint's flat. So I'm gonna hit it with the drying aid, and then for added protection, after it's dry, I'm gonna hit it with Defender to give it that extra oomph of protection. But right now the paint is just flat. It's clean, like you can tell, it's clean. It did the job, but I think whatever protection this car had on it, it's gone. So,
No, that's a good update.
yeah.
All right, next up, I've got Blue Line Automotive and Aviation Detailing saying, can we get separate videos of each area of P&S products? Like one video on tire trim cleaning, then 3 different dressings. Shine All, Full Send, Dressed, then a video on Swift and Express. I mean, that's certainly
we could try to work on that. I feel like we have a lot of videos out on those things.
So many.
Yeah. But I think maybe what he's asking for is like using those using those items in the same video and kind of comparing them.
Like I think what he's looking for is a chance to see in a controlled environment where it's the same vehicle, the same surface. Understood, like whatever this product, whatever one you think you like, put it on here, and then how do these other ones compare to it side by side?
We could do that. I've always wanted to do one where, we use just Brake Buster and do like a timer.
Yeah.
And then on the other wheel, use Crystal Wash and Brake Buster and a timer. Just to show that, like, is Brake Buster still going to get the wheel clean? Yes, absolutely. But if you're working on really bad wheels, does it help to have a little precursor?
Yeah.
Like pregame. Yeah, totally.
Well, and like during TRCMA, I think KCX actually had a pretty good segment where they were comparing on one tire different finishes.
Yep.
And that was really cool to see, where it's just divided out by some tape lines.
Yeah, and we could totally
50-50 stuff.
Yeah.
So that was an effective way to show people on the exact same surface how different products would look.
Yep, we could totally do that.
Then next up, I got Joey. To be fair, you brought us Mocha Mousse every morning. It was the least we could do.
Yes, who doesn't like Mocha Mousse?
Definitely love that.
I have Mocha Mousse here. I did the smoothie this afternoon. You know what was funny? As I was Mocha Mousse, my daughter ran out.
Oh yeah,
she was there too. Yeah, she ran out the front door and it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I was like,
then
hey, I didn't know she
he's
was
throwing
here.
out there also. Then maybe separate videos on different polishes, including the new intermediate pad, then stout.
Yeah.
Basically, he's asking for a video on all these things, but I think he wants to see kind of a comparative.
Now on the polishes, happy to do this video, but I will tell you,
There's
it is
so many
near
variables.
impossible to see results. I mean, you can see that it worked.
Yeah.
But I don't know that you're going to pick up. I mean, it's just like this thing was so filthy. We can look back and see that it was so filthy, but on camera it looked like it was clean.
It's always hard with cameras, no matter how good you got to turn all the lights off in this room and then just do one like good focus scan light to really
because we tried to do, and we actually didn't end up running it, but we tried to do some B-roll of using the new intervention by itself, rehab by itself, and therapy by itself. And honestly, on the video, I mean, you couldn't tell the difference. Like, we could tell the difference in person, but it's really hard on video to catch polish differences. But we could certainly try if we could find something hammered enough. The problem with something's hammered is you never get it to a point where it looks nice. So yeah, it's a little difficult, but.
And then he followed up, and another diamond glass coating. Okay, so you're throwing them all out there, so I appreciate that.
He would like some new videos.
Yes, I'm just hearing he wants new videos.
Yes.
Which, hey, you know what? We're working on them all the time. I will say, for people who missed TRCMA when it was live, you can always go back and watch the full streams. But I know 8 hours in a row ain't everybody's jam, so we are releasing some select segments from the show as standalone videos, recut, re-edited, because we are actually recording at the same time that we are doing it live. So we will have a few of those segments coming out as standalone videos, so people can check those out at a much more digestible size.
Holy crap, you guys.
What's going on, buddy?
This drying aid is nuts. Like, absolutely nuts.
So he's just constantly impressed back here is what I'm hearing.
You spray it on the panel and you put the towel on the freaking car and it just glides. Like, it just instantaneously glides. Not only does it do that, but it doesn't streak. There's nothing. Like, said, you gotta try this. I feel like you need to try this. This is crazy.
Nice.
No, built's good stuff, and it's something that we've had our eye on for many years.
Hey, Dane,
so
would you say it's built different?
You just had to say it.
He walked right
And the
into
moment
that
is
one.
gone. All right, so Hydro Detailing. Now, I have Flex battery polishers, but my Liquid Elements T3000 is still working and doing fine. I know a lot of people like those Liquid
I have
Elements.
heard,
I've heard very good things.
Yeah, my friend Tony just got one, and he likes it too. I haven't seen one in person yet. I have a feeling I'm going to get to see it here in just a couple hours, but I have heard they're pretty nice.
Nice. Well, shout out there. Then I've got Tamara saying, I love Sydney's Arts and Crafts with Joey and Alex.
Yeah,
Aww.
that was year 3 of Arts and Crafts, and it's like it is the one thing I look forward to all year. But yeah, this year it was fun. That was super fun.
Then I've also got Blue Line Automotive saying, I bought a lot from you guys, testing out myself, trying to find the best. They're all great.
Perfect.
Well, and that's honestly Blue Line, like for everybody who's watching here, because I noticed, we got a good run of people looking right now. We do really make a point here at the Rag Company of carrying brands that we would actually want to use in our own homes. That's why they end up at the ragcompany.com store. If you see it in there, it means somebody here vouched for it. So it's actually got real love and testing behind it.
Education is another piece, and it's talking about processes, right? So we carry multiple soaps, or we carry multiple dressings, and realistically it's determining process that works best for you and figuring out the chemical that works best within your process. So you have options essentially, but we don't bring it on if we don't believe in it, and this drying is nuts.
Well, and people aren't one size fits all. People don't like that. I mean, I get analysis paralysis, too many options is overwhelming, but we try and offer enough of them that there's actually something we can tailor to your needs.
Yeah, and like I would never want to just have one dressing. No. Like, because you get to know, like, unless it's your car, you know what dressing you like on your car. Right. But for customers' cars, like, you get to know different tire manufacturers, you get to know different sizes, vehicles, and, you have different dressings that you put on different types of tires.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, Gabe, you're going to like this next one.
Hey, what do we got? What's the
Fine
question?
Detailing. Ryan says, I'd move to Boise just for the massive 3-car garages.
Yeah.
Gabe's ballin'.
Yep.
Ryan, correction, 4-car.
He's got a tandem on the one side.
Actually, to be fair, okay, so one of the highlights, I will say, it was pretty unique. So after dinner, day 4 of TRCMA, so this was Thursday evening, Wednesday evening, they went to Anthony's garage and kind of did a garage tour. And then day 4, they came over to my garage. But it was funny because everyone was at dinner. It was vast majority of the people at dinner. So, I mean, it's like 9 o'clock and the street is packed as if it was a bunch of high school kids coming to a party house, all to see the garage.
True.
And my garage had like birthday decorations from the previous weekend for my daughter's first birthday. But yeah, no, that was really cool. So it was fun having you, Ryan.
And for anybody who's curious about all that stuff, Matt on Obsessed Garage's channel did post his tour of both Anthony and Gabe's garage. Yeah. So if you want to see a very unfiltered look at those, that's where you should go.
We do like our 3-car garages here, but what I think is funny is I think all of us have squeezed more into them than was meant to be. I mean, I know mine is listed as a 3-car garage. We park 4 cars in it every night, soon to be 5. And so
Wait,
we
what?
do
5?
Yeah, when I'm going to put in a lift back in where the Mini goes. So then we'll have 5 cars in there every night.
Are
So
you going to get another car?
Maybe.
Do you know what you're getting?
I do, but I'm not going to tell you.
Are you serious?
Yeah, everybody will make fun of me.
No way.
You'll never get it out of me.
All right, moving along. Love this. This is always fun. Dark Dragon 525.
Yeah, TRCMA was great. ADS was great, and so was Sydney's Arts and Crafts as well. But I don't see that strawberry essence scent on the site.
Not yet. It's
Also,
coming.
also push for ADS at 0 for the APC.
Because they were trying to come up with names for that one. Yes.
Yeah, nice.
I want it to
that.
be Sasquatch because
So what's the story
Carson-
with Strawberry Essence?
I don't know.
No?
It's been out. Strawberry came out. Did that come out last year, or did it come out? Yeah, it came out last
Yeah.
TRCMA. You guys used to have it.
Don't see it on
I
the
don't know.
site.
Yeah,
Maybe
All
we
right.
sold out.
We'll
and
pass
we
the
need to
word
get it.
along.
maybe it is one of the best ones though. I will say that is the scent in triple S, and the scent in Rehab. Yeah.
All right. And then I've got Hydro Detailing at TRC. My colleague, his face was priceless when I told him the liquidator towels were in the laundry. He said they were okay.
What?
All
Wow.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, everyone's got opinions, right?
Yeah.
We listen, we don't judge.
That's why you got different options. Not everybody's satisfied with the same one.
I guess so. Holy
Fair enough.
smallies.
Fair enough.
And then I was thinking the same thing when I saw Matt's video. Excuse me.
probably about Gabe's garage. Yeah.
All right. B. Riley saying, got my therapy already. Kudos on the fast shipping. I'm
Nice.
glad
Love it.
we could satisfy the demand.
Love it.
Joey here, my steak tossing skills are unmatched. No, hucking that
Well,
steak
they
was
really
real
are
funny.
because it didn't like hit the side of the grill or anything where you'd be like, "Oh, that touched something it shouldn't have." I mean, it was
it
a
landed,
perfect landing.
but it flew in like sideways
Yeah.
and then just slapped down, and
Yeah.
then you just saw the juices fly
it
off
was
of it.
perfect.
It was cartoony
It was
in how it all played out. Pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
And then Hydra saying afterwards now he knows they're in the laundry and he was so disappointed. Apparently they're more than okay. Yeah, that's true. You know, you gotta watch your stuff right. All right, DIY with Kane. Hey TRC crew, thanks again for TRCMA. Boxes
Nice.
showed up as I'm watching this.
Tell us
All
what you
right,
got.
Please inform us as to
just
what
like
shows
hearing
up
what
in
people
those
got.
boxes.
Yeah. I love when people do the unboxings.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like I want to know what everybody
Totally.
got.
Cindy, did you buy a Prius?
A what?
Are you getting a Prius?
No. I'd rather die.
Well, you said it was something that we would make fun of you about.
You will.
You
But it's
got
not a Prius.
mad V8 Mopar household, and then you buy a Prius.
Gabe, you would unfriend me if I got a Prius. I said you would make fun
Those
of me,
new
not
Priuses are
unfriend
sick.
me.
I
Can
like
you
those
give me
new
a hint
Priuses.
so I can at least throw some guesses at the board?
No.
Nope. She's not letting you have it. All right,
So-
keep moving on here. We've got Tristan. What's Tristan saying?
Is PNS Frostbite and also Pearl Shampoo safe to use on PPF? Yes, on both.
Yes.
There we go.
Yep.
I think that may be a clarification of his earlier
Oh,
comment.
because he
So
said it's
that
yeah.
helps. Yes.
Yep.
Hydra. Question. When are the 2 new drying towels coming to TRC Europe? Also a bit sad there wasn't a 25% discount at TRC Europe. I was so excited, but so sad I didn't see any discount in EU and only America. Yes, that is because TRCMA is kind of like a, America-centric thing for us running the show. However, our European friends are really good at getting the stuff out there, and they tend to try and run sales that make sense for where you guys are at. But that said, I don't have an exact date for you on when those are arriving there. So I know it's going to be soonish, but it could be a little while. So as far as details, I would refer you over to customer service when we get a chance to get on those. Speak with Lucas or Aaron, and I believe they will have better info
Or
on
Tabby.
that front. Or Tabby. Yeah, Tabby's been doing that as well. She's been great. Then I've got DIY with Kane here. Beadmaker, Dreammaker question. How long after Beadmaker should or can you apply Dreammaker? Or are you better mixing them a la Clean Maker for one application? Wow, that tongue twister.
Yeah. So you can apply Dreammaker right after you do Beadmaker. It won't hurt anything. It won't counteract anything. You can certainly mix them so that you have one application, but it's really just kind of what you're going for. So, if you're trying to get that full effect out of Dreammaker, you're going to want to apply that straight, because in the Clean Maker mix, it's like 1 part to 10 parts. bead maker. So you're primarily getting bead maker. So you can do both at the same time, or, I kind of like doing bead maker. I'll do like the wash clay seal, and then sometimes I'll put dream maker back over it, just for that like crazy pop, for pickup or something like that. But no time constraints. You figure out what you like and do it however you like. All of those scenarios are just fine.
Okay. Then I've got Carl with a question that I think Gabe might be able to help answer.
Nice.
Ooh,
Okay.
Carl wants to know, what has been the big hitter in terms of sales from TRCMA?
Did anything sell out besides
Something
the
that
towels?
really stood out as like, oh, people were really into this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll be open about this one. We sold out of our air blasters pretty fast.
Yeah, that's true. Those things really did move.
That one was like, holy smokes.
We were surprised.
I don't, and we're not surprised in the sense that it's not good. It's amazing. It's an amazing product, but we weren't pushing it.
We thought we had more stock of those.
I would probably, I don't know. I think, Carl, the biggest thing during TRCMA is asking when all the products are coming on live. That has been the most common question. We sold a lot of different stuff. I mean, everyone was kind of picking up what they could with the sale discount that we had. So
yeah, no,
nothing in particular. We sold a lot. We did sell out of air blasters. So if you're someone looking for an air blaster, we apologize.
well, and like all those slim dryers were gone, but that was a small limited run for that initial batch anyway. So we expected those to go quickly. But yeah, in terms of the actual stuff people latched onto during the sale, I know Armor was big. I know PNS was big. All those things were getting attention. But it's, I guess, nothing really in particular like blew all the rest away. But you get the idea.
Yeah.
All right. Then
should we take it to break now, Dane?
Yeah, actually, I'm looking. It's 3 o'clock. So, guys, gals, everybody watching, if you wouldn't mind taking a moment, get yourself a cool, refreshing glass
But
of
don't go away.
whatever you want to drink.
Yeah.
Don't go too far. We will be right back after these messages. See you in just a few. Hello, and welcome back to the second half Q&A Thursday here on the Rag Company YouTube channel. I'm your host, Dane Hennen. To my left, Sydney Gwinn. Welcome.
Thank you.
And then we got Gabe working away in the back, Gabe Garcia, using some fun OG products today, including some Built Hamburg goodies. And what are you thinking so far, Gabe?
I'm very impressed. So, obviously, TRCMA, we released the fact that we're going to carry Built Hamburg on the Rag Company website, and we're going to carry these 3 products, these OG products, both the decon, the dressing, and the drying aid. These 2, the drying aid and the dressing, are already on Amazon. The OG decon soap, we're still getting that processed and on Amazon. Haven't used any of this. The only product that I have used in this line previously was Traceless, which really awesome window cleaner. It does a fantastic job. After going through all this stuff, it does a really good job. My suggestion is, if you are someone getting your car prepped for a paint correction and coating, I would do exactly what I just did today. With specifically, I'm talking doing the touchless for your decon, or I'm sorry, your dwell, and then the decon soap for your contact wash. If you are just someone doing a basic wash and you want to make sure that you have the dwell wash method down, I would start with the touchless, and then I would hit it up with your favorite soap, GFX, GSF, Pearl, whatever you want. Hit it up after you do the touchless. But my goodness, the drying aid has blown me away so far. As far as spraying it on a panel, when the panel's wet, you want to go panel by panel, spray it, wipe it down with your favorite towel, which right now mine is the M22. This thing is a beast. You guys are going to love this when it comes out. But yeah, next I'm going to do on this car, Dane and Sydney, I'm going to hit it. I'm going to do tires, dressing. I'm going to use Matt's OG brush, and again, he pinches the brush. he sprays it, and then he hits the tires. So I'm going to get the tires with this, traceless on the windows, and then I'm going to give this car a little added extra oomph. So what I have is I actually have P&S Defender, so I'm going to top it with P&S Defender as my final go-to on everything. I'm even going to hit the wheels with Defender, just give everything a nice protective layer.
Nice.
So
Okay.
that is what I'm going to do, and then as soon as I get through that, it's going to be cleanup. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing back here and answering questions as you guys throw them at me.
Excellent. Well,
Very
I
cool.
think we can manage that. And guys, gals, if you're watching and you haven't already done it, please hit that like button. Helps us out in the algorithm. You know, it just helps. All right, moving along. We have good viewership today. Let's keep those questions going. I've got 10 pages we have to catch up on.
Oh, my goodness.
It's insane, actually.
That's crazy.
So, fine detailing saying Joey, a.k.a. High Spot Belinsky.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah, but he learned.
He did
Joey's
learn.
here to say.
He did learn, and he found out what he was.
Went a little,
he found out what he was
little
missing.
too hard in the
Yep.
paint, but he learned since then. That's true. Then I got Lakes Country Detailer. Hopping to
Okay.
say good afternoon. Welcome from Minnesota.
Okay.
Neil, Sydney. The express wipes I purchased are a huge hit.
Yes.
They came in very handy when the kids spilled ice cream all over the leather seats.
Exactly. I use them
That's
every day
perfect.
on my own vehicle because I go get coffee every morning. The whipped cream falls off. It's all over my
yeah.
center console. So every day I just pull right up next to the container of express wipes and just wipe it up. They're so great. I mean, I use them obviously in my detail shop too, but yes, I'm obsessed with them. They're so
Noted.
great.
No, they are awesome. And then I've got Lakes County Detailer wondering, are there any 5-gallon spouts available that don't leak? So I know that there's different spout options available out there. Some are better than others. Off the top of my head, though, I couldn't tell you honestly which one is like the
Yeah,
best.
and you know, getting them to not leak is all about just getting the perfect seat on them.
Yeah.
I've noticed that if you over tighten them, they leak.
Yeah, because then
it moves the little gasket, and
Yeah.
so it is just about getting it on exactly right.
would it be stupid to put Teflon tape on there? Or is that something
Yeah,
you
no, that
could
probably
do?
wouldn't work. So there's like a little rubber gasket, and if you
Yeah.
pinch it too hard or not hard enough,
You leave a
that's
little
where you
gap
yeah.
and then-
But I've
Damn.
noticed a lot of people try to over tighten them, and it actually makes that ring jump up out of the groove.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What's that, Gabe?
Dane used to be a non-believer of Teflon tape.
Oh no, it wasn't that I didn't believe in it. It's that I literally I wasn't a guy who did a lot of applications that called
Yeah.
for Teflon tape.
Yeah.
So when it actually came time that I was
Yeah.
doing like an airline or something,
Yeah.
and they're like, well, obviously you needed a Teflon. I was like, oh, I didn't even think
Yeah.
about that. It literally just didn't even occur to me.
I use a lot of Teflon.
I'm
Like,
kidding,
it
Dane.
just didn't even register. All right. So I've got Saxvon. I know I always try with these names.
Yeah.
Saxvon. I'm going to go with
Good,
that.
Dane.
Yos.
Yep.
I started getting into detailing last month and glad I found TRC and watched TRCMA.
Nice.
Made 3 orders during the whole sale.
That's
Wonderful.
awesome.
So,
That's so
I
cool.
hope I didn't butcher your name there, buddy. But I'm really glad that you enjoyed TRCMA and you found us. So thank you.
I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah. No, I love when new people pop in and actually like get in the comments and say, hey, that's what we're all about. We want to try and build a community here. So we got Blue Line saying, are we going to do an OG collab to get Anthony's garage dialed in? Well, you need to go watch the video on the Obsessed Garage channel where Matt actually tours Anthony's garage at the end of one of his TRCMA days.
Yeah,
I think that
it was
was
pretty good.
day 3.
Day 3.
And then yours was day 4, Gabe.
Mine was day 4.
Then I simply see Sheepstar saying Joey Glug Glug. Joey responds, the finest glugs.
Yep.
Blue Line. Can Iron Buster be used as a clay lube with the clay mitt?
So I'm not a fan of this. So could you do it? Yes. Should you do it? No. 2 things. One, there is lubricants in Iron Buster, so it's not terrible to do, but you really should do those 2 things as separate services. And then also my issue with it is then your clay, either scrubber, mitt, whatever, now will forever smell like Iron Buster. So I'm not a fan of that. But when you're doing a process, so like the Iron Buster is removing the iron particles, and now you're using clay to go over it. I feel like it's counterintuitive. I know a lot of people do it. If you do it and it works, like, more power to you, but I would try to do them separately. I mean, iron buster should be sprayed on, and then it could either be contact washed or rinsed off, and then you should use your clay. But
I guess the benefit is if you get the clay scrubber pack, you get 2 clay scrubbers.
Yeah.
But I agree with Sid. You kill a clay scrubber, and I don't think the extra. I don't think combining the 2 processes is necessarily good.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, okay, you save a little time, but it's at the expense of your tools.
Yeah.
Blue Line also, I realize, completely different kind of product, but for people who are maybe like not used to detailing stuff and they don't know all the chemicals just yet, if you're using Iron Buster, that's one thing, but for people who try and combine something like a tar remover or an adhesive remover and trying to use clay with that, especially synthetic clays, like any of the Clay Mitt, clay, ultra clay stuff that's not a bar that we have, that is no bueno. You do not want to be combining those. It is bad for their health. So don't be mixing clay with tar removers. They'll just eat them up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then we've got Sheepstar saying, all for Glug and Glug for all. More Glug talk. This is why we have 10 pages of comments. They finally switched to the wide mount MTM. Wow, says Fine Detailing. Very excited. Member Nate Bargatze on SNL as George Washington, and they asked him how many feet are in a mile. Nobody knows. That's panel impact ratio.
Oh, gosh.
Yep.
That's funny.
I know it's 1320, right? All right. Sheepstar, 150 to 1,000 should be 1.5% on average. All these are numbers, and I'm not a math guy. I'm an artsy guy, so I am clearly in the wrong field here. I am in the wrong space.
The funny thing is detailers, even here, when they get over here, they ask, or you ask, hey, what dilution ratio? And it doesn't matter. And they're like, oh, I just go by Uggadug, like 1 Uggadug.
Yeah.
And honestly, any chemical brand that's come, not to throw anyone under the bus, but everyone's just like, yeah, just do a couple drops in there.
Yeah. Incidentally, when you've worked for a lot of these companies, even though like your understanding of the ratios is correct, you eventually figure out just a shorthand. Like you know, like muscle memory, all the reps and stuff, they're good at it. But if you ask them, it turns into how many Uggs and Dugs is it going to be?
Yep.
So David Cervantes, hey Gabriel, no more question here. What's the meaning of life?
Oh boy.
Here's the deal, David. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. So have some
nice
fun.
answer.
Amen. All right. So moving on.
Because
I got 10 pages to hit, and that is 10 pages worth of one question right there.
All right, you better hit it, Dane.
Bert says, well, work is not cooperating, so I'm probably going to miss the first half. I'll catch you guys later. Sorry, bud. That's what happens sometimes. Blue Line, then or when will the intermediate foam pads, the 5 inches, be available? Same question for Diamond Protect glass coating. Gabe.
What's the question?
Wants to know, when will intermediate foam pads, the 5 inches, be available? Same question for Diamond Protect glass coating.
Well, it'll be available when it comes on the site.
That's not a very satisfying answer.
I'm sorry, I don't know the answer, and I don't want to lie to you. So
that's a good answer.
That's why I'm saying that.
Sometimes when these things go out of stock, it's better to talk directly with the people over in customer service because they have a direct line to those who actually handle the transit.
And everybody
of
in the comments understand this. We just had a huge event, so we have a crap ton of products that we're onboarding right now, and we also have a lot of products that we sold out of. So our team is working vigorously behind the scenes trying to get everything that we had back in stock, as well as all of the new products onboarded, because I know the most common question is, when are you guys getting that? When is that going to be released? So just be aware that we are trying our very best for you guys, but that's where we're at right now, unfortunately.
I appreciate that. And I see Slick Auto Styling in the newest comments corrected me on my 1320. Yes, I realized I had drag racing on the brain, and I said 1320, which is only a quarter mile. So make of that what you will. Just multiply it by 4. You got a mile. And that's why we say these things. So someone can pop in the comments and correct us. Sheep Star, to glug or not to. Okay, we already did the glugs. My goodness. Neil White, Gabe, I really like your garage setup via Matt's vid. What are your go-to products for keeping those Yodas clean?
Go-to products. So my go-to product for interior natural finish. I love natural finish as a dressing, as well as a exterior dressing. Although I will use dynamic as well. My go-to soap. I do love GSF, and as well as Radiance. Radiance I use as my maintenance soap, and then for your grime and stuff like that, obviously I use Express on the interior, Motorplast for the engine bay, Traceless now for glass. I love Traceless, and then Defender is my topper. That's just kind of a quick run too. But
Nice.
I swap back and forth. Like Amplify is in there as well. Yeah, no, a lot of good products, but that's just kind of a rough draft of what I use.
All right.
Very cool.
Then I got Fred. Oh, Fred, Glovebox Fred popping in.
Nice.
Sup,
Hi,
fam?
Fred.
Hey, Fred.
Hey, Fred.
And then he says, I hear Doer and JB are moving by SBG.
I've
Yeah,
heard
they
that
are.
too.
Yeah,
That'd be
well,
amazing.
how these rumors start.
Wouldn't that be nice? That'd
Yeah,
be
that'd be
great.
fun.
That'd be a great
A
thing.
house open up in the neighborhood? Are they
Yeah.
just going to be roomies?
Yeah, probably.
They'll get their cars worked on by you, or they'll just volunteer to work in your shop.
Yeah.
Get bullied by Delaney.
I've already been trained to. Yep.
By Delaney.
Oh, that was great. Oh no.
Bob Jones bought the Reflect Glass and FTW during the shows.
Nice.
Much thanks. Bob, you are going to enjoy
Man,
those.
shout out to Reflect. What a great
FTW,
product.
easily one of my very favorite
Yes.
towels, and Reflect blew my mind when I used it. I loved it when I was doing my own detail on the
Yep.
Flex a few Q&As ago.
Yep.
Fred says, JB, just waiting for spring to come back. And Alex saying, I actually love the lack of chain restaurants for dinners and lunches. Yes, sir, you're welcome. A few chains hidden amongst the mix, but overall, we have a good selection of mom and pops around here, too.
Yeah, big shout to Mama Hennen for getting all those sweet lunches
Yeah.
and dinners squared
Yeah.
away.
And let's see, we've got Ruger's World. Such a great event. Looking forward to receiving my new pad washer, armor detail supply, and other TRC items later today.
Nice.
What
I
a
love that
generous
everyone's getting them
discount and
today.
loads
That's so
of
great.
knowledge. Thanks. Rugers, thanks for tuning into the Q&A, because this is something we do year round.
Yeah.
This is something we try and do every Thursday we possibly can. And then TRCMA is kind of the big show-off, crazy,
sorry.
involved show. But this,
Sorry.
as you can see, is a live production. Anything could happen. So that's the fun of it all.
We like to have fun here, right, Dane?
Yeah, I would say so. Oh boy. Then I got some comments I can't post, and then I've got Alex
Whoa.
saying, Sydney, what are you sipping on?
A peach strawberry smoothie from the Mocha Moose.
Looks pretty fancy.
Yeah.
I gotta get more towels, guys.
Demo, hey Demo, good to see you here. Gabe needs to split his pants now.
Here's the
says
deal,
Demo.
guys. I have the best pants. These are the best pants.
Are they OG spec?
They're OG. You know what? They're
Matt
blue.
thought his were, and then they
I
weren't.
just thought it was so funny that everybody was kind of giving him a heads up that his pants were too tight for like the 3
Jody,
hours
during
before.
the halftime break
Yeah.
right before, it's like, your pants are kind of tight, dude. And it's like, what, these? These
Yeah.
are my favorite.
Actually,
I
yeah.
love these pants.
So
Oh, man,
here's
it was
one thing about
so
Matt.
funny.
Matt absolutely hates Costco, and I was telling Matt that my wife likes to buy me clothes at Costco.
Oh, yeah.
These are pants I got from Costco, and they're actually stretchy. So
Yeah,
Yep.
nice.
no rippage here.
Yeah.
All right. You got him. Now,
That's great.
let's see. We got
So
Sheldon
funny.
here. I'm absolutely loving Built Hamber Touchless, and then washing with my favorite rinseless. Oh, that's a good combo. Touchless is awesome.
Nice. I'm gonna have to
Touches
try
is-
that
No, I
because that's
think
my
you'll
favorite
enjoy
wash
it.
process too. Is to do like a decon and
Yeah.
then follow with rinseless.
Break
though.
it
So
down.
I'm gonna have to try that.
So and then the other element too is I'm topping this because this card, it doesn't appear to have a ton of protection. I used drying aid, which added slickness to the paint. Now I'm topping with Defender, and it's just like the towel's going so fast.
Nice.
No joke. The combo of the two might be. This might be. We might be onto something right
It's
here
a
on
slip
this
and
live.
slide, man.
Yeah. Nice.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Blue Line saying, I plan on renovating my garage/shop. Want to make it OG. Will you guys have his products built in kits?
Maybe one. I don't know.
I was going to
Tough
say,
one.
the lines will be appearing both on Amazon and eventually in the TRC store at theragcompany.com
Yeah.
in specific instances. But They're not quite there yet. However, Gabe, there were products that are available right now on Amazon.
Absolutely.
If you want to point out which ones.
So, Blue Line, the products that we have right now, we have the tire dressing on Amazon. And I think you can get this in gallon size. Don't quote me, but I think a bigger size you can get that. We have the drying age, which I just tried, and I'm blown away with it. And then we have the Decon soap, which is phenomenal. This is still in process of being on the processed onto Amazon. The built hammer we will eventually have on the Rag Company website. It will not be on Amazon. So keep in mind, it'll be on the Rag Company website. The OG specific products, those will be on Amazon.
Excellent.
And the website.
Cool. Glad we could clarify. All right. Now I've got Sheldon asking, thanks, Sydney, misspelled, for the tips. Getting some blueberry pads. Already excited to try some rehab.
Nice.
Sheldon, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I just know Sydney always looks for when her name gets misspelled by people in the comments.
That is a new misspelling.
I've never seen it spelled that way, so you get points for creativity, Sheldon.
How's it
That's a
spelled?
new
Here's
one.
the thing: what you get, Sheldon, is you get that you have all the right letters. They're just completely in the wrong order,
Correct.
but you have all the right letters.
Yeah.
Ask Sydney how long it took the Rag Company to figure out how to spell her name right.
It's about
Does that
7
count,
years.
Does that count as an anagram if it's just the same word, but you
Right.
jumble the letters and you
Yeah.
just end up with the same?
That's hilarious.
It's a homophone. It sounds the same. But,
Yeah, I haven't seen that one before.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
Anyway, Joey is here to say, shout out to Dane making us fix his fence directly after picking
nice.
us up at the airport.
You made him fix your fence, Dane?
Yeah, that was really fun.
Are you serious?
I had to come up with a way to entertain the guys
Oh
for
my
the
gosh.
afternoon. No one else volunteered.
Oh
I
my
popped in and said,
gosh,
you know
Dane.
what?
That's hilarious.
Guys, we're going to hang out. I took them to a delicious lunch
Yep.
at Highlands Hollow.
Yeah.
I drove them up Bogus Basin using my gas.
You made
we
them
drove all
fix
the way up.
freaking fence?
And then they
What a
got to my
host.
house. They wanted to look around, and I was like, hey, guys, a crazy windstorm blew over this section of fence. It's really hard. I can't do it by myself. And even
Oh
with my
my
brother and I,
gosh,
it still
Dane.
doesn't work. But with 3 people, I think it's
you go.
just right. And the guys, I gave them a heads up ahead of time that I was hoping I
Okay.
could get their assistance.
Okay.
So they knew it
All right.
coming in.
That makes me feel a little
Yeah,
better versus,
yeah,
hey,
it's
what's
true.
up? Thanks for flying
I
in
knew there
from-"
would be all 3 of them. It was
Oh, my
beautiful. But you know
gosh.
what? No one else was going to hang out with them on Saturday, and I had so much fun with those guys. I think they did too.
That's so funny.
I
Gosh.
love Joey and Alex. They were the most fantastic friends
Totally.
to just
They're so great.
make on a new trip like this. So, Fred, what's up, sheep? Alex, speaking of fences, JB and I crushed it on the repair. Yeah, zip ties do amazing work.
Nice.
You
All
zip
right, I
tied
need
a
to cruise
wooden
through this.
fence
There are
together?
so many comments. All
better-
right, details official. What's going on, Sydney and Dane? 2025 TRCMA was killer.
Thanks.
Thank
you,
you.
guys.
Shout out goes seriously to Nick and Glenn behind the scenes. Gabe, obviously, Sid did a great job hosting. I did my best to be the glue between segments. And yeah, everybody kicked butt.
killed it.
It was a seriously big endeavor.
Yeah.
And you guys watching made it all possible. So thank you for that, too. All right. Joey here saying release gives the vehicle a nice, clean, fresh base, ready to accept your favorite PNS essence scent.
There you go.
That is true.
Hashtag
and
facts, yeah.
okay, so Ruger's World here. Missed a session on therapy. I picked some up during the sale. Can you please touch on it compared to rehab?
Sure.
I picked up both and we'll be trying both on a test panel this weekend.
Yeah, so therapy, so we released intervention and therapy. Intervention's not available yet. I just found out this morning it may be May when it's available. So intervention is the heavy cut compound. Therapy, which is available right now, is the fine polish. So if you're doing a 2-step correction, you can choose intervention and then therapy if you want to get more cut. Or you could obviously do rehab and therapy. Rehab generally, like 98% of the time, is going to cut and finish on its own. The only time I've had it not finish was on like a repainted 55 Chevy, you know, with like 17 layers of clear. That
of course,
paint
yeah.
just reacts differently.
We know the type.
And needs a little bit of refining. So therapy is going to, it has the same delivery system as rehab, but it has a different abrasive. So the abrasive is obviously a much lighter abrasive. And so, the way Dave explained it the other day was so good. He called them alphas and betas. And so like intervention is all alphas, rehab is a mix of alphas and betas, and then therapy is all betas. So that's just on how aggressive that abrasive is. And so it's going to be a fine polish. That's not to say that you couldn't do a one step with it, but it's not going to do a ton of defect removal. It's going to do more of the enhancing the gloss, bringing that out, refining any, marring or hazing from, your previous step. And so it's really great for that. The other thing that we did not touch on during TRCMA is it's great on plastic. So, but I do want to give you the caveat that do you need to tape off when using it?
I was about to ask.
So let's say we are doing this CRV, right? If we were doing this without taping it off and we hit that black plastic, it's going to make it turn super nice and black. So it's not going to turn it white, but if you're going to hit the plastic, you're kind of committed to polishing the plastic. Not a big deal in some cases, but something we definitely want to mention. So it does work great on kind of, getting out any water spots or discoloration or chemical burn. It does a great job on plastic, but it's going to turn the plastic nice and rich and black. So you're kind of committed from that standpoint. But a good pad would be anywhere from yellow down. So yellow, black, white. You're probably going to use a finishing pad. I would not use a cutting pad with therapy.
All right. No, that definitely helps clear that up. So thank you for the good question, Rugers. Alex Dewar here. I love that Gabe's baby hands fit in that mitt with such grace. I'm glad the one bucket method is taking off.
Well, Alex, my hands might be baby hands, but my hands do know how to work their way around a vehicle.
Hey, yo. I'm sure that Honda is very happy. All right. Take it to dinner before you go opening doors like that. All right, Alpha Tango 04. Just wanted to mention I also joined the IDA during that presentation. I've learned an absolute ton by watching the webinar recordings.
That is so
Looking
awesome.
forward to getting my certification.
That is awesome.
That's awesome, Alpha.
So
I'm so
great.
glad you got a chance
Yes.
to be a part of that. So, no, that's fantastic.
Very cool.
All right. Now, I am many pages behind. We are doing our best to cruise through here. We got to do these a little quicker.
We got 30
Yeah,
minutes.
Sid's
Chief
got
Star.
a flight to catch.
Would PNS
Yeah.
consider making a rinse solution that brings the carpet back to pH neutral? Something low pH that works in an extractor, like a low foam one.
I'm not, it's not something that's ever crossed our mind. I think that, our carpet system and the way that we recommend doing it kind of negates the need for that. We're not big extractors. We do have an extractor shampoo that was made years ago that's actually amazing. But with the new 3-part carpet system, we don't really have the need for that because the finisher neutralizes everything.
Right.
So,
Yeah, he's kind of talking about like the shock treatment between high and low pH. And the Pro carpet cleaners do it. Peroxide treat remaining stains. Use finisher on urine stains disappeared in minutes. Yeah, so I mean, that's most of the method is just using the trifecta.
Yeah.
That's really when it comes to the PNS system, it works very well.
Yeah.
But let's see. So I've got Ricky here. Ricky says, Sydney, ordered the creamsicle scent. Is it better to go 1 gallon or 2? And how much spray in a car is too much? Enjoyed this chat, learning new things, and how other folks clean cars helps out too.
Yeah. So I've never been a fan of the 2 gallon. That's like really watered down. And even 1 gallon for me is too diluted. I think that's kind of the sweet spot for a lot of people. I do it actually quite a bit. I do like 1 16-ounce bottle to a half a gallon. Because I like it to be a little bit stronger because then I use less, but it also sticks around a little bit longer.
Okay.
So if you mix it up, say, 1 16-ounce to a gallon, you can smell it, but it doesn't hang around very long. And so I want it to stay around a little bit longer. So, I do a pint to a half a gallon, but you can play with it. But here's what I'll say is start with a pint to a half a gallon because you can always add more water. But if you mix your whole pint, you can't take water out.
Right.
So you can keep diluting if it's too strong for you. The creamsicle scent is one of those that's not offensive. I mean, it smells really good. So I would say start on the stronger side because you're going to want it to hang around. It's not like, say, I just call it cockpit. What's that one called? The one that's cockpit. That one, if you do it too strong, some people could be like, oh, that's so strong. So, but
much.
creamsicle, because it's such a unique scent, or not unique, but unique in the way that like we
It's
all
more
know.
gentle.
Yeah, we all
Yeah.
know what creamsicle smells like. I would start it a little bit. Start with a half a gallon and add more water to your liking.
It's smoother. It's not going to beat you over the head.
It's not going
like
to be
a
offensive.
club.
No.
I guess the way to describe it is smooth versus sharp.
Yeah,
Sometimes you get a
yeah.
smell that's like, oh, it smells good, but it's a little too
Yeah,
sharp, and
yeah.
it just kind of like pierces your nostrils.
Right.
It's not really a
Yeah.
pleasant experience initially, and then you get used to it, and then it's
Yeah.
okay. But creamsicle is smooth.
Yep.
Tony M., I just called Sid while she was on the
You
live.
totally
Whoops.
did, Tony. You're so funny.
Oh, man.
That's okay. I'm going to see you tonight, and I'm super excited about that.
There we go. Flag Pyro. I had an Atom Swirl Killer 15. Did the job just fine. More vibration than my Mark III, which is Rupa's, but not bad at all. I think it's a rebranded Max Shine. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
That stuff, you get those.
Yeah, not bad if you're doing like 3 cars a year, but
But
other
that's
than that,
the main
it's a
point
lot of
we were
vibration.
getting at
Yeah.
was if you're going to go the cheaper route, you're
It's
going to
the
have something that
vibration,
vibrates
guys.
more.
The vibration will be the death of you.
It should only be for
Yeah.
like you're using on your own cars or very infrequently using
No
on other
kidding.
cars.
Yeah.
Seriously.
If you're going to make a habit of it, like more than
Mm-hmm.
a couple times a month, just get a nicer, smoother machine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning. I'm definitely learning.
Even
on that
even
front.
if you got to go used on that nicer, smoother machine. Like I said, the Rupas, they have that whole refurb program.
Yeah.
It's amazing for that flat fee.
Yeah, and like the Mark IIIs, now that the Mark Vs are out, everybody wants a Mark V, and so
Sure.
there's probably gonna be a lot of Mark IIIs on the market.
Yeah,
and
people moving on.
honestly, the Mark IIIs totally fine.
No,
I mean,
they're
I've been using one of those
sick.
now for about 5.5 years, 6 years, totally fine. Hasn't caused any more damage.
Ain't
So,
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right, Sheepstar. We got Sheepstar responding. Oh, okay. Cleaning the carpets around home. Let's see. Details. MZR is legit, David. Let us know what you think. So, and then we got David Boyce. Sydney, I want
Yes.
that blue RBL 512 cordless. Sounds quiet, but it ain't cheap.
that's an
It's
example
not,
of a
but
polisher
here's the
that's
deal,
good.
though. Here's the deal with it, though, is you're not going to find a good cordless that's a 3-inch that's much less than that. I mean, that's right in line with like the Rupes and the Mirka. Like they're kind of
That's
all the same.
battery-operated polishers
Yeah,
in general.
right. I
The
mean,
battery's
that's
the expensive
Yeah,
part.
but it's worth it though. Like that's the thing. That thing is so cool. It's worth it.
I was really impressed the first time I heard a Mirka
Yeah.
in person,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh my god! I didn't know a polisher could be that
Yeah.
quiet."
Yeah.
And then hearing the RBL,
Right.
it's not quite as quiet, but it's really close.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
genuinely very close.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
And,
a polisher right
yeah,
there.
I was
that's not
impressed by
gonna,
it.
Right.
That's a polisher that's not going to mess you up.
And when you're looking at it from the standpoint of, if you're running a business and you want to do a couple sets of headlights, or if it just speeds up your paint correction that much more, I always look at things like that. Like time is money. And so if I can trim out, a bumper and all of that much more fast and efficiently, it pays for itself so quickly.
Yeah.
And then just headlights alone, I mean, you can knock out headlights in no time with that thing.
Yeah.
And, so it is a little bit expensive, but I mean, it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth it.
And I should also point out that yes, you have a hard out at 4:00 today,
Yeah.
so
Do,
I
yes.
got to get through these comments to make sure you
I
have a
do
chance
have a
to
hard out.
be able to answer them and go.
I when we end at 4, I have 20 minutes to get to the airport and get my
Dang,
bag.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, luckily the Boise airport pretty friendly.
No, it
even
should
if
be
you're
fine. I do have
running
to
late.
park though, so
I'm
there's
already
that.
done with this car, so what I'm going to do is while you guys are talking, I'm going to clean out these mats.
You
Cool.
do what you're gonna do, buddy. All right, Howie Gleason. I truly enjoyed TRCMA. I was able to pick up some things I needed and a few others I wanted to try. To everyone
Very
involved,
cool.
thanks for all you do.
Very
Howie,
cool.
that means
Thanks.
a lot.
Yeah.
And,
Thanks, man.
Please extend it
Thanks for
to
tuning in.
everybody who can hear you. That is
Yep.
fantastic. Details official. If you are polishing for long periods of time, better and smoother engineer polisher is definitely worth every
Amen.
penny. Yes.
Amen.
Yep.
Then we got shout out for that and 150. I mean, there you go. Then we got a bunch of other ones, and they're all out a bunch of names and Prestige Worldwide. All these different names. It's really fun. Sheepstar. Let's see. Man, okay, they're getting spicy. Oh boy, we're getting spicy with the C's as I move on. Maybe that's why we had so many pages. Anyway. Blue Line. Videos like chapter book for different steps in a full detail process would make some excellent TV.
Okay.
Once again, giving advice on how we can make some more videos.
Cool.
Definitely something to consider.
Love
And you would probably want to know about a project we were working on about a year ago. It may come back at some point. Gabe had a lot to do with it, but I'm not talking about it here. It's something
we can talk about it.
We talked about it at another time. We can definitely look at it. Then I've got that's page 8. Let's go to page 7. Yeah, we got Prestige
Matt,
Worldwide
number 2.
jokes, and okay, my goodness. Oh, we've got Chromatic Garage. You're better off spending $150 on Bead Maker and stacking it until the defects are gone.
Yeah, true.
Yowza. All right, Steve Pearson. Hey, friends. I'm driving, so I can't chat. Hope all have a great week. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate you. And then everybody excited to see Chromatic, DJ Mayo from Armor Detail Supply popping in, saying hello all.
Hey, DJ.
Hey,
I always want to go, DJ.
You know, Joey's wife calls DJ. She calls him DJ Mayonnaise, and now I can never.
No, like when I see DJ
can't
Mayo,
think
I
of it
think
different.
that just sounds like a stage name for a guy who
I can't
is like
see it
into
different.
mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Every time. I'm sorry, DJ. It's all I could think
One of
every
our
time I
local
hear your
radio
name.
stations, it was like, what was it back in the day, early 2000s? DJ Mayo.
Man.
It's so funny.
All right. So let's see. Fine detailing. Griot's G9 was the first polisher and great value for that price. Lifetime warranty too. Hard to beat. There you go.
Yeah.
And then Chromatic here. I haven't used a single product you review, so maybe we could garage swap for a weekend. I think he might be talking to Sheep or Fine Detailing there.
Okay.
All right. Once again, I'm trying to get through all these, so I'm just checking if we have any that are relevant to the conversation. Haven't used it yet, but I think the intermediate pad will be the best overall. More cut when using Uno Protect, but still soft to lighter purple Yoshimi polish. Okay, that was from Blue Line. Blue Line says, I love your videos, so yes, make more. Thank you, Blue Line. Flag Pyro. Mine was the old Porter cable. Still have it, still works, vibrates like crazy. Now I use a Mark III and a Griot's 3-inch.
Very good.
Yeah, so there we go. Neil White says, Gabe Mormon, he's fully morphed. Yeah.
Like
so, Saxophone saying, can't wait to see the OG stuff in the shop. Thank you. We're working on it quickly as we can. All right, that was page 7. We move on to 6. And we got more people excited to see OG there as well. That's why we're using it today, just as a little reminder. And we've got... Alex says, leave the segues and jokes up to me, Gabe. Then, all right. Dark Dragon 525 says, I need the tank towel. That's the M22.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
Wish
It's
a few
fantastic.
items weren't out of stock during TRCMA, but there's always next time. So, Dark Dragon, a lot of the things that people thought were out of stock during TRCMA were actually never in stock to begin with because they were new products being listed on the website.
Didn't
It
make
was
it,
just the first time they've been made live. Now, as far as live, it was so you could get the information, but we didn't have the stock available yet in those cases, so they showed us out of stock despite not running out of stock. They just were never there to begin with. But we're working on that. So as they appear, you'll get notified. And if you haven't already done so, please take a moment to go to the ragcompany.com website, scroll to the bottom, and you can enter your email to get our newsletter where we don't spam you, we don't waste your time, we just send you the good stuff. So when something gets in stock that you want to know about, chances are it's going to be mentioned in those newsletters. So yeah, I recommend that to anybody who wants to stay up to date. And then moving along here, we've got... Slick Auto Styling, my 2018 DeWalt Rotary is showing some crazy signs of wear and tear.
Yeah, I bet.
Believe it. And then, oh no, Alex says he knows what Sydney's new car is, but he won't leak.
Oh my gosh,
Oh
Alex,
boy.
never.
Oh boy.
Wait, you told Alex, but you didn't tell
I
him.
don't remember telling him, but I have a feeling he knows.
Sydney, did you buy another Mini?
No. God, no.
Oh my god.
It's so funny how indignant she gets when he says that.
Oh my gosh.
I love my Mini, but they are a
Would you
lot.
say they're
They're a
as
handful.
reliable as a Toyota?
No, they're just a money pit, just like my Bulldog. It's like there's just certain things that you're like,
Well,
you know that you're invested.
Incidentally, the Mini
Yeah.
was considered to be like the Bulldog of cars. So,
Yeah. They cost a lot to keep them running. That's for sure.
Well, your Bulldog's cute. So.
She is, but she costs a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure she's not cheap.
No.
Brad81 says, this was the best TRCMA yet. I may be a little biased. Can't wait for my PNS products and
Nice.
Viper
And a
chair.
Viper
yeah,
chair,
buddy,
sweet.
get it.
Wait, is he the winner of the Viper chair?
I'm not sure.
I
Perhaps, maybe.
think
He
is.
must be because
Not
it was
only-
that was
not-
together. Yeah.
Not
Whoa.
only did he win a Viper chair, Viper's doing their one-off edition, and
Oh,
he got the
dang.
one-off edition one.
Oh, that's really nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
then.
so Alex hooked him up, man.
Good on you,
So
bro.
Good job, dude.
All right. Well, I'm moving through these pages as best I can, and we're at 3:43, so we got about 15 minutes. Grand F. When clear coat is faded on a few spots, is it worth trying to quick fix for selling a hood that has a few spots on it with a C10 repaint? Okay, so like a Chevy C10 pickup, and you got clear coat. Well, if you got clear coat and it's a C10, it's either a more recent C10 or it's a repainted C10. Oh, C10 repainted. Doy. Sorry, I was thinking out loud. Yeah, no, with clear coat failure, it's always one of those things where if it's already starting to crack and stuff, it's kind of too late and you should just respray a panel.
Yeah.
But if all it is faded,
Yeah.
I mean,
You could try to give it a quick polish. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's no harm in like trying to polish first and seeing what you can do. That's something where I would probably turn to it with the last cut first or like something like that. Get in there kind of tough and just see what you can pull out of it. But no, try that first before you go committing to respraying it. Sure.
Clear expectations. That's the only
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, at the end of the day, you got to be open to the fact that you may not be able to save it, but it's worth a try. You know, just do a test spot. Let's see. We got Lucas here. Oh, Lucas is chiming in to help Brett. Okay. Congrats on the giveaway. We did confirm that you will be getting that limited edition chair you
cool.
picked, and we'll work on getting all the giveaway stuff shipped out as soon as we can.
You guys,
awesome.
those giveaways were nuts. I was
were.
not. Yeah, that's why I was telling everybody before TRCMA, prepare
True.
yourselves, $8,000 worth of stuff.
No, that was a
that's
crazy
crazy.
amount of giveaways during TRCMA, and if you missed it, man, you missed it.
You
so
missed
yeah.
it.
Lucas
cool.
Blaine also saying, we're still giving our warehouse team just a little bit longer to catch up from the crazy sale. Yes, it's been
Nuts.
a lot. New Prius slaps, though, says
No.
Joey. Chromatic agrees.
Never gonna happen.
Jose says she's getting a Cybertruck.
Oh,
Pretty
that's
sure you can
absolutely
get one on
not.
discount right
That is that's absolutely not a Cybertruck.
She's going to need Ulex for that one.
Sheepstar, I don't know. I think the previous gen, especially the 2018, is already a pretty slapping ride. Just saying.
Is he talking
All
about
right.
the Prius?
I think he's still talking about a Prius.
Yeah, never gonna happen.
I personally like the design of the new generation. Previous ones, not
Sid,
necessarily
is it
for
big
me.
or small?
But I don't have room to speak because
Not as big as my
I
Jeep.
Not
owned a
as big
Ford
as your
C-Max
Jeep.
Energy, so I have no room. to talk.
RAV4.
No, Gabe. I would never drive something that just had like a 4-cylinder.
Oh my
my
gosh,
God.
Sid.
That's half as many cylinders as she'll tolerate.
Never. Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Okay.
Hyper Rocks. Prius's life. Hybrid owner since 2001. You are missing out greatly.
I think it's going to be something in the realm of a BMW or something like that.
Hyper Rocks. I drive a 392 Jeep, so I'm not missing out on anything. I promise. I'm
That's
not
so
missing
funny.
out
she
on
likes
anything.
the rumble, you know?
Yeah.
Loud exhaust, the V8, snorty. Yeah. the
No,
whole thing.
that's not happening either.
Oh, no, I love that idea, David Boyce. Sydney getting a Volkswagen bus, a Fiat Abarth. Oh, that's so funny. And a crab walk Hummer. Oh, yeah,
like
the new GMC Hummer
The
EV.
new VW bus, Sid.
Yeah, no, the Volkswagen ID Buzz.
Yeah.
Which is
The VW buses are pretty cool,
they
but
are
it
cool.
seems like they have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Got
They
some
just
kinks
came
to work
out.
yeah.
Just don't get a first year model.
Yeah, you just can never get a first-year model
A
of
Fiat,
anything.
Fiat 500 Abarth, though, is a really fun used deal, kind of like the Minis.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to be seen in a Fiat 500.
Right, but that's the
if
things
you've
you have to
ever-
tell people that
if
you
you've
have a
ever
Fiat.
driven
Yeah.
an Abarth, though, it is really fun, actually. The little front-wheel drive hat, it is such a snorty, like, noisy little car. It's pretty dope. But yeah, used
snorty
values are
little
low
car.
generally, and the reliability is questionable. Vito, what's the best P&S soap for the Canon paired with a K?
I'm
sure.
just going to take a wild guess and say Frostbite.
Okay.
Oh, soap for the bucket.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so my favorite pairing would be, Gabe, am I wrong here? I like to do Frostbite, and then I do Radiance in my bucket.
Oh, amazing.
There you go.
That's a good combo.
Radiance with the slickness, Frostbite
Oh,
with
yeah.
the froth.
Yeah.
Oh,
In
yeah.
this with the slickness. There
Yep.
we go. And Joey Saying shout out to Uncle Adam for letting me be a little fanboy the entire
Adam
day.
great?
Oh, he was so
great.
fanboyish.
Yeah.
Joey was hardcore fanboyish.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. But I love that, we're making dreams come true over here at TRC for TRCMA.
Yep.
Yeah.
Slick auto styling. Sheep, would you consider the polisher not spinning at full speed bad? Oh, yeah, that's not good. Joey, Sydney's getting an ID buzz in teal. Honestly, I could see you doing something like that just as like a real wild card choice.
Yeah.
Did you
maybe.
really tell them, Sid?
I think I might have because I feel like they're acting like they know.
They sure are acting like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Tell-
they're good actors. Come
But
on.
now, what's later? They're going to like trick me into thinking that I told them and they're going to get it out of me.
That's why I'm saying.
You gotta
Probably.
resist.
Yeah.
Hydra detailing towel updates with more than okay about the liquidator. I mean, he absolutely loves them now. Look at
Okay,
this
good.
evolution happening in
Good.
real time. Hydra, thank you for
Who
the
doesn't love the
constant
liquidator?
updates. That's what we like to hear. The liquidators are awesome. And Joey, yeah, there was no armor detail supply for me to buy. Brandon Purdy bought it all. Then he proceeded to give it away. It was pretty great. Pretty nice. Slick auto styling. I mean, you got to turn up the speed a bit. Changes by itself, getting sketchier by the way. Okay, I think we're having different conversations here. Let me keep going. David Boy says Sydney getting a Mitsubishi Evo 8, Toyota Supra Mark 5, and a Corvette C8.
I know I'm not into any of those.
What if she's
Out of
buying...
all those, I could see you doing a C8 Corvette, maybe.
Maybe, but it would have to be like the Z06. But
Hey, Dane, what if our coworker who might potentially be selling a car later on, what if that's the car she ends up buying?
it won't be a used car. I will say that.
Whoa.
That answers that then.
Yeah,
All
it won't be
right.
used.
Okay, so Ruger's World saying the sale was the perfect time to pick up the Lake Country pad washer. Was on the fence about it. The sale had me jump off. Ruger's World. So the pad washer, very popular choice. People really like those. So I think you're going to enjoy that. Yeah, and then Joey's saying he also did so. He had a pad washer 3000 that was on its last legs. Then I've got DIY with Kane saying my TRCMA haul. Green Star, Undressed, Actifoam, FTW, Sport and Workout Towels, Fender Defenders, Everest
Nice.
1000s, Eaglets, SO03, Cyclone Pad. Oh my.
That's awesome.
That is
I love it.
awesome. I love that. We got more love for Rags to Riches, and then I got Todd Kuar here saying, we run an amateur endurance race car. Any recommendations on a finisher or coating to help with the cleanup after a race? Tire bits and oil. The car does have vinyl graphics. So basically trying to prevent things sticking on like tar, rubber, yeah. that stuff.
Honestly, I mean, you could really use any actual ceramic is going to help that a ton. But if you don't want to go down that road, you can use something like Defender, and that's going to help, kind of make whatever next time you wash it easier.
Yeah, I mean, there's different ways to approach it. I think
Yeah.
like stout wouldn't necessarily be a bad choice because it's got more body to it.
Yeah.
I also know that G-Tech had their Aero Coat, which they actually used on race cars and stuff with actual aerodynamic pieces. A lot of carbon fiber stuff got treated with it, and it was actually used on like prototype racers and stuff.
Yeah.
And the effects were small, but they did find benefits
Yeah.
in terms of lap times and stuff when
Yeah.
aero is that important.
Right.
So something to think about.
Yeah.
We do have a video about that one. It's a little old, but it does exist. Yeah, and then I got Slick Auto Style saying, yeah, Rags to Riches plus Rupa's Claw Tool is my go-to right now. Yes, good choices. Oh, Umberto, who is very much not first today, saying,
Wow,
hello,
look at
TRC team.
that.
You got here in the last 10 minutes, but you got
Nice.
here all the same. Happy to see you, Umberto. Then I've got Ninja saying, what's up, y'all? Happy to have you here. And
What up, Ninja?
David Boyce saying, whoever can guess what car Sydney's buying gets a free IK Pro 2 e-foamer.
There you
Nice
go.
contest. Thanks, Dane.
Now
thanks for
Alex and
volunteering
Joey are
that.
about to spill it.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't have one of those to give away right now, David. So anybody who tries that's going to be real disappointed.
What about like winner gets to take Dane's Miata on a hot lap?
Whoa, hey, we're
Yeah,
giving
you know
up
what
my
I'm
car
saying?
now?
Well, yeah, yours is the only one that's fast enough, Dane.
Ninja, what are
Minus
we talking about?
the Jeep.
Ninja says she'll buy a Suburban or a Subaru. I mean, she comes from like a Mopar
A
family.
Subaru? I do not see Sid in a Subaru.
Okay, but I do own a Subaru. It's Tristan's car.
Yeah,
and
but that's
Yeah.
for
that car's
teenage
pretty
boy.
legit. Yeah, but I wouldn't
Yeah,
drive
little
it as a.
different.
Yeah. it's a very nice car, and there's a lot of nice cars out there, so I'm not hating on cars, but I wouldn't drive it.
You're like, I only hate on the Prius.
Are you going for a Land Cruiser?
No.
Are you joining the gang?
You're still trying.
No, there's two scenarios, Gabe. I'll give you a hint. There's
dear.
two scenarios. Either one, that's never going to happen, David. You must have forgotten the memo that I do not like Mustangs. But actually, you know what, David, I'm going to give you a little bit of leeway on this because this is what I was just about to spill, is there's two scenarios. One will be me keeping my Jeep once it's paid off and buying this crazy car that I have no business owning.
Ooh.
The other scenario is Ford, which this is embarrassing because I said I would never own a Ford, but Ford is coming out with the Explorer Shelby. In 2025.
Oh, my land. That's what you're getting.
So I could get rid of the Jeep.
Oh, boy.
Because it's a 2020 and it's got 70,000 miles on it.
Because
that's a
Jeep
new
and Dodge
car.
aren't offering anything in that space anymore. So.
Yeah, they're not.
Like
and which is such a
car.
bummer. But I kind of feel like my car could be a ticking time bomb. So it either needs to get parked and kept or it needs to have a total SUV replacement.
Okay.
And I'm only into like the muscle, fast, loud SUVs.
You want the muscle stuff.
And so Ford Explorers are nice. I'm so embarrassed by the Ford, and I never wanted to own a Ford. But that
Make an
is
exception
one.
for
There's
that,
two
huh?
scenarios that are going to happen. That could be one. So definitely not a Mustang. But
I like the curveball from David here.
getting
I like Rivians a lot. Like that
They're pretty
if you're
cool,
gonna
but I
get
wouldn't
a
buy
quad
one.
motor one, like
Yeah.
those are really sick actually.
They are really cool, but I wouldn't drive
But
one.
not what she's getting.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, Gabe, gonna need you to send me those Built Hamburger bottles when you're done, says Joey.
Oh, Joey, they're amazing. They might disappear and end up in some new age cabinets.
Oh boy. All right, I made it to page 3. Oh my goodness,
Oh,
we're
gosh.
working.
We got
OG
6
Drying
minutes.
Aid and Built Hamburger. Is Auto Wash available too? I have touchless and traceless and Automax, says Dark Dragon.
I mean, you can probably get it from Matt's site, but not here yet.
Yeah, for the time being, anything you want to get that you don't see on our stuff, you can still get at Matt's place at Obsessed Garage.
Yep.
All right, moving along here. I've got Ninja saying, you guys need to try Built Hamburger Touch On. Gives KC-S003 a run for its money.
It's called Touch On?
I think I may have missed a little step there, but I'm just going verbatim what it says.
Okay.
And then I hear Teflon Your Life. Ninja also says Blue Monster Teflon tape is the best option.
Oh my gosh, Dane, you're really behind on comments.
Yeah, no kidding. That's what happens at 3 pages behind. Joey says, I have to thank TRC for allowing me to meet my new best friend, Maddie. I believe this is the beginning of a lifelong friendship. I don't know how I've gone so long without.
That's so
He started as a hater, ended up as a lover. That
Yep.
is truly a story for all TRCMA kind.
So Joey, Joey needs to
Slick
post
Auto
his first
Styling.
OG order.
Correcting
order.
me, 1320 is a quarter mile. Yes, I was thinking drag racing when I said that, so whoops, slipped out. Griot's polisher is good for your own car. Yeah, no,
sure.
if you're doing your own stuff, sure, definitely. A good choice there. Gabe, how much radiance do you normally use for your maintenance washes?
In
It's
Glugs,
like auto styling.
And Glugs.
Yeah.
I do no more than 150 mils in the foam cannon.
Okay. I'd
Sid,
say
why are you
that's a
laughing?
glug gug.
It's like a glug.
That's like a big glug.
Glug gug. It's
Alex
like a
Stewart,
glug gug.
I couldn't handle getting bullied by Delaney.
It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough.
Joey, volunteer to work? What do you think this is? TRCMA? Then Alex, my entire wardrobe is Costco, TRC, PNS, and KCS.
That's funny.
Oh,
It's
man.
true, though.
It's actually
great.
true, though.
That's so
great.
true. When you work at the rag company, your wardrobe is either Costco or whatever you get at the rag company.
That's funny.
Oh, man. Slick Auto Styling saying, I heart Motorplast.
Yep.
I love Motorplast.
Me too.
Bob Jones with the correct amount of feet in a mile, 5280. Then Built Hamburger products are the real deal, says Mikey. I agree.
Yep.
Blue Line. I saw day 3 video of Anthony's garage. It needs to get dialed in? Question mark. Will we get a collaboration video of a redesign and upgrade? Matt should do it for him since he's got a lot to say. I think Matt would probably be like, no, I'm not paying for that.
Yeah.
All right, Bert. Just opened TRCMA Package 1. Thanks, everyone, for signing the banner. I need to figure out who some of these belong to.
Awesome.
Thanks, Sid, for the Buff Like a Girl Express White Pack.
Yes. Very
Very
cool.
nice. Then I got S. Waltz here, new commenter. Question regarding your towel lineup. Do you carry a bundle/mix set in bulk? Which towel is considered your best for exterior detailing? Gosh, I mean, if you're looking for one towel to do it all, FTW
Yeah,
is
that's
always
what I
going
was
to be
gonna
my
say.
answer.
FTWs, baby.
If you're
I
not
could use
sure what towel
FTWs
to
for
pick,
every single part of detailing if I had to.
I would say anybody can do with like edgeless 365s, rip and rags, and FTWs. You could do so much with just those 3 types of towels.
Yep.
An incredible amount. And then
could
if you
also
really
get the
need a big
gauntlet,
drawing
too.
towel, then you could pop over to like Liquidator 1500, Gauntlet, something like that.
The gauntlet you can get in different sizes. So I mean,
Yeah.
if you were like stuck or pressed on having to do one different size, you could do that.
Yes. And I got 2 minutes, so I'm cruising here.
Okay, go Dane.
Scent. The scent of Reflect is nice.
Yes.
Says Bert.
Yep, that's that glacier.
Ooh, very nice. Drive Twisties. Since KCX makes both, when would I use Polestar, Leather Star versus Color Lock Mild or Protector? Gabe.
Polestar or Leather Star?
Yeah.
So Polestar you can use on plastics, Leather Star obviously on leather. The strong cleaner I would use from Color Lock if you're experiencing denim transfer or any major contamination, or the other option is if you're prepping your car to put the top coating of Leather Star, you want to hit or you want to use the mild or strong cleaner by Color Lock. That's my suggestion in a nutshell.
All right.
Sorry, trying to be fast for you.
Of course. And then, hi, everybody from Mexico since Compay. Hello. Thank you for popping in. Then I've got Slick Auto Styling. My TRCMA boxes just hit my doorstep.
Nice.
Let's freaking go.
That's awesome.
Nice. Congratulations, dude.
That's awesome. I love that delivery happens
And
during
Charleston
the show.
here right in the
Hey,
nick of time before the
Charleston.
show's over. Hey, everybody. Happy
Yes.
Thursday. Right back at you, dude.
Dude,
It
that
was so
guy's
great to meet
awesome.
you when you were
Yes.
here this week.
That
Or
guy's
last
awesome.
week, rather. Time is a blur. All right. Kevin here asking, Gabe, what are your thoughts on the OG drying aid and tire dressing?
So drying aid, fantastic. Really, really slick. And then after you, like on the surface, slickness is insane when drying. Top it with Defender, it'll blow your mind after the wash. As far as the tire shine, I like it. It's matte. It's not, I like matte look versus a very glossy look. And I don't think you're gonna have any issues with slings. So far I'm really liking it.
All
for
right.
both.
Thank you, Gabe. And we are pretty much here at the end of the show, but the very last comment I want to put up on the screen is from Bert, and he's just giving a shout out to TRC shipping and customer service teams for all their hard work getting all those TRCMA questions and orders taken care of. Thank you. I think that's a great way to end us today because
Absolutely.
Sydney has a hard out. She has to get to the
I
airport.
do
She
have
has
to get
like
to the airport.
literally 20 minutes to
Yes.
do it from now.
Yes.
So
To park and
Sid,
get checked in.
You're welcome to go. Gabe,
Cool.
you did a great job today. It seemed like you really enjoyed those products.
It
Yeah.
was really delightful. Yeah, no, definitely try it out. There's a reason why we're bringing them on board. There's not nothing, no complaints on my end.
Cool.
Nice.
I can't wait
Well,
to try 'em.
folks, I hope you had a wonderful time. I hope you hit that like button while you're hanging out here before you go. And if you're not already subscribed, come on. If you're new here, what are you doing? Also, if you haven't seen TRCMA yet, go and check those out next. I couldn't recommend it enough. Bounce around, check out the different segments. We work really hard. It's a whole year project, and it's some of the best stuff you're going to find for detailing content anywhere on YouTube here. I really am super proud of it and all the work that everybody here does. So, thank you again. We'll see you next week on Q&A
Thank you.
Thursday. Y'all have a great weekend.
See you
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye.